You've been to the French Open final. Your breakthrough, at least standout result at the beginning of your career, was on grass against Venus. You've been very solid on the hard courts. Is there a slam in particular that you go, I think that's, if I'm going to get one, the first one might come here, there, or where?
Well, I don't know. I mean, everyone, I'm like, I think this is the first one, so I don't know. I mean, obviously now going to the French, I do have a lot of confidence on the surface, but I'm not really thinking about that. I feel like, you know, in the past I was, and it gave me some, like, defeats that I feel like I shouldn't have lost, maybe more so my head. So going in now, I mean, I feel like, you know, everyone could be the one, but I think I have to just take it a match at a time and just feel it out and enjoy it. I think when you focus too much on the destination, you don't enjoy the journey there. So now I want to focus more on the journey, and you know, if the destination gets there, that's great.
There was some Australian Open final vibes for me today, and I was looking at a couple of comparisons. There was some Australian Open final vibes for me today, and I was looking at a couple of comparisons. Australia was 2 hours 28 minutes, today was 2:26. I'm sure you weren't aware of that. But I tell you, 4 championship points, does that sound familiar? And were you thinking of it during that last game?
Actually, yes, I was thinking when I was down with the break in the last game, I was thinking, okay, I did it at the Australia Open, so probably I'll be able to get this win this time again, and it's actually helped me to stay focused and to have this belief in myself. And yeah, definitely this match reminds a lot of Australia Open match.
A couple of days ago, we asked you about the tactic and what it would be against Coco.
Now you know.
I think so, yeah. I think so. I mean, I'm thinking it's just to give her as many forehands as possible.
Yeah.
and I was thinking, as I was watching, I was thinking it's not really attack the forehand, it's give the forehand, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, she's a very good, she plays amazing when she's defending. She's very fast, she has crazy backhand, very good serve, especially first serves. I just try to return her every ball to make her play one more. Sometimes when she feels she doesn't have like 3 points on the serve, she starts to serve a little bit worse. And of course, going more to her forehand, most because of her backhand is very good. And when you have like the spot there, you just go there. But I just try to go to her forehand, and yet sometimes just give it to her and make her like do more.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ready. Play.
You are muted.
There we go. Off mute. How are you doing, Damien? All right?
Yeah, all right. Ready for the semis. Hopefully, we're gonna get some exciting matches this time on the women's side, because obviously the quarterfinals were absolutely woeful. And yeah, I guess at least in the first semi, it's kind of hard to see like an easy path to a victory for any player, for either player.
Yeah, and I was just watching a highlight reel, and I know you have to be careful with those, but of a highlight reel from Karolina Muchova from her previous round, and just some sensational shots that just can't believe that she managed to pull them off to some extent. And fingers crossed she can bring it tonight. What about the pressure on each player, Damien? Do you think that'll be a factor? And if so, who has the more pressure?
Gauff, definitely. Just because it's in the States, and also like the sort of hype and the expectations that have been building around her for the past 4 years, I guess is fair, since she beat Venus at Wimbledon. So I think certainly Gauff in that regard.
What about any inward pressure? For those of you wondering, why am I wandering around? I just had to go and find my bottle opener. Very important pre-match. What about Muchova though? The inward pressure of being a little bit older. Sometimes I wonder when it comes to the crunch whether one player might get more nervous, whether they might start to remember certain incidents. I mean, it wasn't long ago, of course, Muchova was a breakup in the French Open final third set. I know what you mean. Externally, the US and all the rest of it, and the hype that has been building with Coco in recent weeks in particular. But Muchova will be feeling it too, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. This is honestly just guessing, sort of, right? You never really know how something like this can impact a player. But for me, I kind of believe that like the Roland Garros success came so it was such a short time ago, that actually I don't feel like she's really had the chance to have this feeling that I've reached my first slam final. Maybe I'm never gonna make another. I'm getting older, or something like that. I feel like this year has been basically her first season of full health since 2019 maybe. And yeah, I just feel like there's not really been enough time for that feeling of, I don't know if I'm gonna reach another one. Well, it's a semi, of course, but still, like, get another chance at a slam
Yeah.
title.
I mean, we're getting close now, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
The four contenders remaining, I think I agree with Nick in that they would be in this order of likelihood, as in the favorite. Sabalenka, if she produces, has to be the favorite. And also she's been there before in terms of Australia. Coco Gauff, the way she's playing, second favorite. Muchova third, and then Keys fourth. That would be a sort of, well, what are you thinking?
No disagreement, definitely not. Keys gets a bit of a like a disadvantage just because she's playing Sabalenka. And maybe if it was the other way around, maybe if the matchups were split a bit differently, maybe then Keys could fight for the third spot. But yeah, for me, it's the same here as well. And yeah, but maybe just looking at these or four players, maybe it's Muchova who like should be able to feel, just maybe play more freely than the rest. So that's going to be quite interesting to see if she can actually capitalize on that. With Keys, I think what you just said about Muchova, it kind of comes into play. Where 2017 US Open, her previous final, of course, her only final, and yeah, now she gets like another shot at the slam. So maybe there, that would be a situation where this sort of mindset comes into play. But yeah, for now, I think I would rank it exactly the same.
And looking at their paths to the final, I think probably also of the four semi-finalists, I'm looking at Coco's maybe being the most challenging. I mean, Muchova did make heavy work of Wong, which may surprise some. But elsewhere, I mean, you're going to get one or two easier. Well, I mean, Magdalena Fresh in the second round, straight sets. Townsend third round. That Townsend match was a really tough match for 12 games in particular in terms of the sun, which I think was troubling Karolina. So there is that. Castella in a quarterfinal for the first time since 2009. Maybe that's not too bad. What do you think of Muchova and also Coco Gauff's path, which for me was the tougher path?
Um, hmm.
I
I mean,
mean, Gauff
Goff
made it tough with Laura Siegmund to some extent.
Yeah, there was definitely that Laura Ziegmund match where maybe I wouldn't say Coco made it tough. Maybe it was more the Mertens match, but her path was definitely a bit tougher. I think Muchova sort of managed to run away with it, like get away with playing fairly well. I don't know, just fairly mediocre tennis for the first 3 rounds. By the time she made the quarters, that's when she sort of started shining.
Mhm.
But yeah, part of that was the fact that for the first 4 rounds she had like manageable opposition. Perhaps Taylor Townsend, you could argue, certainly is a fairly dangerous opponent. Also Xinyu Wang, the sort of win streak that, or like almost win streak that she was on. But yeah, I would say Goff's has been tougher. She's like more battle tested. But anytime she was forced to work hard, she definitely like just instantly had it. She managed to figure it out. She problem solved well. Even the third sets that she won, right? It was 6-4 against Ziegmund, but she was 5-2 up in that one. And against Mertens, she didn't lose a game in the decider. Against Wozniacki, she only lost one. So
True.
yeah, I think her path has been significantly tougher. I don't know if that's actually helpful or not. I probably would rather look at this match in like a vacuum and yeah, just say that okay, they're both in the semis. They shouldn't
Yeah.
be all that tired. Goff played the mixed and the doubles as well, right? But she lost early in the mixed. She lost in the doubles as well, I think already,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Didn't
they
she?
lost yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yesterday. Yeah, I don't think it's that much of a factor. So I basically am not really looking at their paths, especially as Muchova's best match seems to have come in the quarterfinals.
They did play each other recently, Coco and Karolina in Cincinnati in the final. Karolina, interestingly as well, came through Arena Sabalenka for the second time in just a few months. So that might bode well if they were to play each other in the final. How much of a bearing do you think that Cincinnati final will have on today's match?
Um, Yeah, I don't know if it's huge, certainly just maybe a bit of confidence for Coco, but it's not like she's gonna come into this one thinking, okay, I have one, I have this one, I have her number or something. That was their first meeting indeed, and yeah, I just feel like Muchova will is definitely not the kind of player who will just enter this match thinking, I cannot beat her. I lost to her recently. I don't know what to do. She has so many tools at her disposal as well that yeah, she should be able to come up with something fresh, something new, something that maybe Coco did not experience in the Cincinnati final. And it's no guarantee that Gauff will perform like this again. She definitely like we were talking at the beginning. I mean, she definitely is the one who has that external pressure like cranked up to the highest possible level here. With I don't really only think the warm up swing, but also the last few years where the media in the States basically were trying to paint her as the next best, the next great player, the real deal, which very well she might be. And yeah, the pressure of like now slowly sort of managing to find her potential, find her full potential, and like actually fulfilling these expectations, this is pretty huge. So I wonder how she's going to handle it. So far, I mean, she has been very confidently showing that she actually can handle it, even when something was not going her way. But it's gonna be tougher with every match.
A couple of regulars already in the chat. Hi to you, Jake, and hi to Ghosty as well. Let me know your thoughts on this match, particularly if you have a prediction, and especially if it's bold. I'm all for that. I guess the bold prediction would be Muchova 2-3, or Muchova comfortable win. Is that the bolder prediction than maybe a Coco straight sets? Or where are you leaning? I'm trying to read between the lines, and I'm just wondering if you are leaning, or is it 50-50 for you?
Yeah, I'm not leaning anywhere, I guess.
Apart from back in your
I
chair.
don't think a Muchova comfortable win is even that surprising. It all depends
Okay.
on how it actually looks. If we see maybe a nervous display from Coco, then why not? Yeah, I'm basically not leaning either way. Gauff just beat her in the Cincinnati final, but I think it's all really form of the day, and also how they handle the occasion, which is quite huge.
Yeah, I think so too. The players are on court now, just warming up. They've been on court for a few minutes. There was a woman with blonde hair who I have absolutely no idea who she was, but she seemed quite tall and was also wearing high heels. I always think that's kind of an interesting combination of a very tall person also wearing high heels. We are just having a look at the stat regarding time on court. I am with you though, Damien, on this one. I don't think it's going to be a huge factor. If Coco had like come through every match in 3 sets, that may be different. But it is 3, it's not 5. So I still think it is every second day. Even a 1,000, particularly in Rome, could be, consecutive days for large parts of the tournament, at least for the shorter version 1,000s for now. I saw an interview with Arina Sabalenka's coach. Oh, we've got Brad Gilbert there as well, looking on. He just looks like an old man who's kind of sat in the wrong seat. You've got to go back upstairs, mate. Yeah, this is Coco Gauff's team. A lot has been made about his introduction to the team that has coincided with a very good run of form. But I am also with you on this one, Damon, that we'll just have no idea how that will pan out. Arina Sabalenka's coach earlier, by the way, I know that that is obviously not the match we're watching here, but yeah, he was just saying, what kind of things do you say? And during the match, and he's just like, well, just usual stuff, stay in the moment, kind of maybe cranking up the pressure if that's how I feel the vibe needs to be. But often with Arena, it's actually maybe on occasion playing with a bit more margin. But right now she's a very confident beast, and therefore probably should just need to be let loose. Those are my words at the end there. They weren't. He didn't call her a beast, the coach. But anyway, Coco looks like she's going to be serving first in the fluorescent yellow. I had an idea as I made the thumbnail that she would be wearing yellow tonight because I think she has a red day outfit and a bright fluorescent yellow night outfit. You are going to be for sure a few seconds ahead. I have narrowed the gap since I arrived in Lisbon, but I still anticipate you to be ahead of me, and therefore you probably know how the first point has panned out. I'll get the score
Not
up.
yet, not
Okay,
quite yet, actually.
she's serving now into the body. Forehand Coco, backhand from her opponent. Forehand now to the forehand of Coco. It'll be interesting to see how the forehand bears up today as they exchange backhands. This is a nice solid starting away from both players, getting close to the line there. Good depth there from Muchova. Again, pretty good depth, but probably not enough. So it was too high over the net for Muchova, and Gauff punishes her.
Yeah, quite a rally to start with. Yeah, that last slice definitely wasn't that clean, and Muchova was,
No.
I think, even stopping. Like, she was not even sure if it was going to land in.
Sure.
It actually ended up landing in, like, pretty far away from the line, but that's I guess the miss hit, and yeah, just great stuff from Coco to also blast it back and down the line. Not easy to do off that size.
No, but as I sort of hinted at, I do think there was a bit too. But the slice, it's a nice return there from Karolina. It's not going to win in the point though. 30 love. That slice over the net just had way too much clearance and therefore sat up. Not too bad.
Yeah,
Coco.
it was definitely a floater. Yeah.
Yeah. Ghosty, yeah, I am having to put my head up. I've got a desk in front of me, but probably I could do with the desk being a bit further away from the wall, perhaps, and then I wouldn't be having to lean up so much. I am tempted as well to just sort of, there's a reclining situation behind me where I can just chill out and lie down, but we'll see how the night progresses to see if I can resist that temptation. 30 love on the Coco serve as a runaround forehand return for Muchova. It's now forehand for Coco, backhand now. Forehand again, Coco. They're just going down the center of the court, and Muchova decides to sort of change things up. A lot has been talked about with Carlos Alcaraz's strapping on his leg, but actually the Muchova strapping on her arm has yet to hinder her, I would say, in this tournament. But it is getting more and more visible with each match that passes. I saw it with a lot of strapping. Now it's like one big sort of sleeve that she's got all the way up and down that arm. So fingers crossed it doesn't restrict her today. If I suddenly disappear from the screen, it's because my internet is so at times.
Yeah, and we got a game to love for Coco.
Yeah.
To start of the match, that volley from Muchova was pretty sensational. Just picking it off from her, basically from her shoelaces, but also a very smart lob from the American. And apparently, she's the youngest American woman to make the semis of the U.S. Open since Serena in 1999.
There we go. It doesn't seem that much of a quirky stat, that one. That sometimes they put stats on there, like, I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, thing with Coco. I mean, her breakout result was against Venus Williams at Wimbledon over 4 years ago. And she was 15 then, of course. Ghosty, we're making too much of Muchova. He obviously doesn't rate Karolina's chances tonight. Hi to you, Terry, as well. Great to have you on board. Make sure you hit the like button, people. I'm sure you've already done so, but always good to have a quick reminder. Coco here goes long on the return. So we've yet to have a point against the serve. Brad Gilbert looks like he's going to have a little snooze. Goes down the tee on the serve. Does Muchova? Now Muchova does quite a few unforced errors already from Karolina. Fist pumps from the Coco Gauff box. Although she didn't really have to do much to earn that point. Ghosty says he doesn't rate Karolina's chances against Coco. Maybe he's dwelling on the Cincinnati final. Very nice return from Coco. And she has definitely settled the earliest, winning 6 out of the first 7 points. Muchova at that time deciding to attack the net. Probably just trying to loosen up a little bit there. Okay, here we go. Muchova to serve. Into the net. I do think that yeah, Muchova needs to just get off the board here. Okay, here we go. Second serve.
Yeah, she does get a bit of a helping hand then.
Yes, helping hand, helping forehand. You could argue on the return there from Coco. A bit of a scrappy first 7 points, I think, is first 8 points of the match. So it's actually 7 out of 8 that Coco won. Yes, I would just say it's very, very early, but those predicting a Coco win might feel a bit more confident about that prediction right now. I am leaning towards Coco to win this match. I was leaning before the match began as well. Forehand return from Coco. Now it's on the backhand of each player. They exchange backhands. Muchova now goes towards the forehand down the center of the court. Muchova comes into the net. I do expect that to be a feature today. Coco. Oh, did Karolina let that go? I think she could have got a racket on that. 30-40. I think Karolina could have got a racket on that.
Yep. I mean, not with how much she was no, not with how much she was like her center of gravity was a bit way too in front, forward. Like she was leaned leaned over forward. So I was like, couldn't really do that anyway. After that volley.
But it wasn't like close to the line. It was, I mean, when it went over her head, I thought, oh, okay, that's going out then, is it? It didn't seem like it was going to go out after it left the racket of Coco. Anyway, here we are.
Yeah, but with the footwork, there was no way to do that after the volley.
Okay. Oh, and she puts a slice into the net. Now that's the second. Well, that one was conclusive, and we've already got a break of serve for Coco Gauff. I would imagine we've probably had already a good 7 or 8 unforced errors in this match. Terry, untimely prediction there with Coco. With Muchova has a good chance. I mean, long way to go yet, but the first person to draw blood is certainly Coco. And Coco goes long on the first serve. Hey, Layla. Okay. Forehand clips the net and gets very lucky there, Karolina Muchova. She went big on it. Coco was probably going to get a racket on it. I think she was already dashing across that side of the court. She went big down the line, but fortunately for the Czech, it clipped the net and landed just over the other side. And there we go. Love 15. Run around backhand. I mean, it was obviously into the body there, so she probably just went on instinct there, Karolina. That's a lovely shot there from Muchova, from Coco, but actually good defense from Muchova. Muchova down the slice, probably the best slice of the match from her so far, but there's not a lot of competition for that prize. And it's Coco now putting a forehand in the net. As her rally tolerance is tested. I think that was go on.
No, I was just about to say to Leila Fernandez that I think Arena has seen a style like Keys, at Wimbledon.
They played each other at Wimbledon, didn't they? She won that quarterfinal and then obviously went on to lose to Ons Jabeur. That match kind of got forgotten about for me because I think it may well have been the same day that Jabeur came from behind to beat Rybakina in the quarterfinal. Oh, Muchova putting that backhand into the net. I think I might have a few troubles today with Muchova and Gauff, Coco. But let's see if I don't get confused. That could well be the beer talking, though. We'll see how that pans out. Yeah, Layla, I am also leaning more towards Arena rather than Madison, that's for sure. But we'll see. Did that go long from Coco? It didn't. That was a very careless backhand there from Muchova. 30 all. Well, we'll see. It's touch and go right now, Terry. Coco Gauff to serve. Backhand slice, sort of return. Didn't do too badly on that one. And there's another poor slice there from Muchova, this time into the net. I think
Yeah, a
she's...
couple of these already, like neutral rally balls with the slice that she just misses.
Yeah. And 5 unforced errors from Muchova. We've had, just one from Gauff. And Gauff was very solid on the unforced errors, particularly during the opening stages of her match against Ostapenko. And Muchova puts the backhand return wide, and we are at 3-love.
Well, it's hard to make unforced errors against Ostapenko, you know.
Yeah.
Every single shot of yours basically counts as a forced error if you miss it. Well, not every single one, obviously, but most of them.
Yes, I understand that, given the way Ostapenko brings it. And yes, she's either hitting it out, or she's hitting a winner, or she's probably hitting a forced error. But Coco was pretty solid in that match. And also her defense, which I think is defense one of her sort of strongest suits?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, she's actually like a very defensive player. I think people don't fully acknowledge that every time. But yeah, definitely one of her strong suits. You know, she could be the best defender in the sport right now.
Who's the best defender on the men's side?
Medvedev.
Okay. Do you have to think about that one, or...
I was thinking of Alcaraz, honestly.
Yeah, of course.
which would be wild because he's also the best attacker. I think Djokovic at 37, 36, right? Djokovic at 36, I cannot really say that he's the best defender anymore. He is significantly better at attacking, though, of course, and has a much stronger serve than before. So I don't think he's truly the best defender in the game anymore. So yeah, I was thinking about Medvedev and Alcaraz, but I think Alcaraz is a bit of a stretch. I think it must be Medvedev.
Yes, indeed. Okay, 3-love. Muchova to serve here. Already under quite a bit of pressure in this first set. She's yet to get to juice as well, as she just waits for a few people to sit down. Do you think they could just play anyway, despite all the sort of people still coming to the stadium? Do you think you could just get on with it?
Lower rows behind the player, why not? But like 18th, I mean lower rows behind the players. Okay, let's wait for them. But like especially on Arthur Ashe, right? The 10th row, let's say. I don't know. You're not gonna be struggling with that.
Sure.
So I think sometimes the players are a little too harsh on the spectators as well. Well, it's not really the fault of the players. The rules should allow it basically, but yeah, I think there will be a point probably when we change this, especially it like when you have an event and sometimes you see people just having to stand around, I don't know, 10-15 minutes in order to get in. Like that's something that I feel like will change at some point in the future.
Yep, indeed. Jake is asking for players that don't necessarily perform so well on the defense, either on the men's or the women's side. Some people that are struggling to defend. Who springs to mind?
Has to be someone who's like unable to move, right? Or like,
yeah. Well, I mean, I think somebody says Valio Pelka here.
Yeah, Opelka was probably better. Well, was. I just said was because he's not playing, but he was probably better than Karlovic or Isner, though, right? Just a better mover.
Mm.
But yeah, basically all of the women and men who cannot move. So I don't know. Would you go for like Pliskova maybe?
I mean, some players rarely have to to defend, such as Ostapenko.
Yeah,
Leyla Fernandez, her defense is pretty good, I think.
yeah,
Maybe
she
on
would be
clay
pretty
as well.
high.
Yeah. Okay, 30-15. So Muchova here, and it's an unreturnable. So that's a nice cushion that she's now built up in this service game. 40-15. Which would be the biggest story amongst the four semi-finalists if they went on to win the title, do you think? I mean, there's three of them that have never won a Grand Slam, and one is now a new world number one.
Yeah, I read today that it's Keys, but that's actually BS, I think.
Really?
You know, it's not a big story. Yeah, I don't think so. Not in terms of like the well, in the States, yeah, because she's American. We all saw what they did with Chris Eubanks, right, at Wimbledon, for example,
Yeah.
where suddenly he became like a household name. And Madison Keys, of course, is a bit of a household name already. But just for the casual public, I guess she would become huge. But Coco is definitely the biggest story if she wins.
Yes. But I do
For
see the Keys one. I do see it
Yeah,
like in terms of like her age and
but
pursuit.
it's not comparable though in terms of the hype you can create on it, in
Sure,
terms of the media coverage you can
sure.
create on it, the sort of superstar that it can make a player. Yeah, definitely Coco is just not comparable to the other three just because of how much how desperate the American media were for her to become a star, and also like the 4 years of, I don't want to say failed expectations, because she kept progressing at her
Hmm.
own pace. I guess you could probably argue that there was like a year in there where she was sort of just sticking around at the same level, but still there was a lot of talk, of course, about her, especially about her weaknesses on the forehand side, and about the fact that she's like not going anywhere because she's not beating the top players. She's not um, yeah, basically because she's not beating the top players, and because she's struggling against all the other, all the players like Świątek. That she perhaps won't win a big title anytime soon. So I think, yeah, along with that great warm up swing and like just proving all the doubters wrong, let's say. Also because of the recent coaching changes where Brad Gilbert steals all the spotlight from Pereriba. I think, yeah, Coco is incomparably the biggest story if she wins.
Uh, Mukova's finally on the board. She got an ace as well to do that. I could see some Spanish coming out from Ghosty in the chat. He's very pleased that Cancun has got the WTA finals. Forehand return there for Mukova is also into the net, and that is a very much an unforced error, not an unreturnable. 30 love. Coco now leads. Yeah, Cancun. Yeah, I just wish they just announced it 6 months ago rather than 6 weeks before.
And also, there's a scheduling conflict again with the
Billie
Billie
Jean
Jean King finals, which, after last year and the fiasco that it was, well, perhaps not a full-on fiasco, but like there was, Pegula or someone right, or Pegula,
Lots
Gauff.
of withdrawals from Billie
They
Jean
took
King last
like
year.
I mean, lots. You only have eight up to 10 players, I guess.
Oh yeah, okay,
In
lots,
the
but big names. I mean, they're all going to be big
yes,
names, of course. Bit eager, for example,
yes,
among others.
Świątek definitely the biggest one, and also the fact that Gauff, Pegula, once they actually made the effort to come to Glasgow, and it was a rough trip because it was like free connections. They had to like not play in the first match. They had to sort of ease their way into that Billie Jean King Cup finals event. It was just a huge mess. And initially, after it finished, the WTA announced that next year we're going to do it differently. We're going to avoid that, and yet that happens again. Yet again, the WTA finals host is only made known 7 weeks before the
Yeah,
event, and it's not because they knew it for like half a year and just didn't tell us. They actually did not know probably like 3 days ago if
yeah.
it's gonna be Cancun, Prague, or Jeddah. So yeah, it's an awful mess, really, and
I mean,
I cannot understand how this keeps happening.
given the location of the Billie Jean King Cup, I mean, couldn't they have brought it a bit closer? I mean, I honestly, this is not European bias. I couldn't give a flying proverbial. If they put the Billie Jean King Cup in Guadalajara, I'd be fine with it being in Cancun. But I mean, they could have also. What takes so long? They should be planning right now tournaments 2 years in advance. We should be. They should be going. Okay, where's what we're going to do in 2 years from now? Where is the? And if it got to 18 months before, I'd be thinking, why haven't we got this sorted?
Yeah, but that's the reality, and like the thing is that we don't know if this is a case of the WTA being incompetent, or if this is a case of women's tennis being a lot tougher to sell, which probably is a combination of both.
Okay.
But yeah, we definitely see this discrepancy between the ATP and the WTA now, with the ATP releasing like their full 2024 calendar, before the previous year is over, whereas on the WTA you have to wait until like half the season in order to get the second half. So yeah, that's something that I really cannot understand.
I mean, it may be a tough sell, but it becomes even tougher if you plan something 6 weeks before, as we saw in
Yeah,
Fort Worth last year.
yeah, definitely. It is a bit of a circle. And last year, the WTA finals, of course, the promotion of it was just awful. Cancun should be better in terms of the,
Yeah, Mexico
attendance,
events,
at least.
yeah, tend
Yeah,
to be well attended. Yeah,
I think
I mean,
Cancun is like pretty far away from most of these other Mexican events, right? It's like south of Mexico, I guess southeast, if I remember
yeah,
correctly.
on the
But it
coast.
has not mattered in the past. It has some tennis traditions too. Lots of ITF events. Probably gonna be fine, I think. Unless they also don't promote it in any way, like they did in Fort Worth, which would be a shame.
Ghost is loving your take on this. The last rally was 10 shots. It's the longest one of the match so far. Muchova is love 15 on her serve. Gauff had a comfortable hold in the meantime. And yeah, Gauff is edging ever closer to winning this first set, where I feel as though Muchova's not yet turned up. I mean, the opportunities to attack then that we know she's capable of, but also the unforced errors and the slice in particular has been an issue, as another unforced error comes off the racket of Muchova. This time it's on an attempt to do a drop shot that barely made the net, and we're at love 30.
Yeah, there's one player so far who's not handling the occasion, and that's not Gauff.
Indeed. Winstappen is keen for Karolina to wake up. So many errors as he highlights, or she, of course. I have no idea whether Winstappen is a male or a female, but I imagine it's based on the Formula One driver. Yeah, indeed. Love 30 right now.
Yeah, Cancun is where I thought it is. So it's like not the part of Mexico that usually gets the most tennis, with Mexico City, Guadalajara, Monterrey, San Luis Potosí, and etc. But I think it's probably going to be fine in terms of the attendance. Great vacation spot as well, right? It's like
Exactly.
seaside, so
Especially for wealthy-ish people. And also, there is a like all countries, but in Mexico we'll have a 1 or 2% elite, and a lot of them will be based in or around Cancun.
yeah. Bernie Tomic loves playing there, and the guy knows his holiday resorts. So
He's a holiday resort guy. He does come across that way.
yeah, he basically, when he started playing like a full ITF schedule at the in the second half of last year, he was basically playing Cancun and Santo Domingo only. Right now, he is sort of, now that he's back in the top 400, he is trying a lot of challengers too. But yeah, when he was playing just ITFs, he basically traveled between Santo Domingo and Cancun, which
And another unforced error from Muchova on the backhand into the net. 7 on the backhand so far. 2 break points for Coco in what has been unfortunately a fairly underwhelming affair so far, but it can yet to come alive. Of course, a forehand return from, oh dear, Karolina. Oh dear, another unforced error, this time on the forehand side. And we have 5-1.
Yeah, this tournament just keeps on giving, doesn't it?
The problem is as well with New York is it has had such glittering affairs in the previous iterations. I mean, last year, even the first week, I remember Kanepi having match points against Sabalenka clipping a net on match point and ultimately winning that point. Also, I remember a 5-setter between Rublev and Shapovalov, I think, that Rublev emerged the winner from. I think Rublev was also serving for it. I'm just trying to choose some niche matches because so many other ones got highlighted. The obvious ones, obviously Alcaraz, Sinner, the Tiafoe matches as well. That Tiafoe Nadal.
Oh, John, get ready.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Well, Coco's coming alive. She's not concerned whether we want dramatic matches or not. But I did kind of know that was going to land. It hung in the air for a long time, and I'm thinking, okay, this must land in. Yeah, plumb in the corner. Indeed. Those of you just tuning in, make sure you hit the like button. Winstappen is excited about Cancun after this success they had in Guadalajara. Yeah, fingers crossed it could be. Maybe just, there is a Guadalajara 1000 on the horizon and a China 1000 too, right? For the women's tour.
Yeah.
No way, indeed, Winstappen. No way. 15 love, Coco Gauff, second serve. Of course, you only get 1 point for that incredible shot. So, a clip for the net. And again, Muchova benefits from that. Although she's not won the point yet. In fact, very not won the point. Although there's a forehand unforced error, and she does eventually win the point, 15 all. Yep, thus far, Ghosty. If we have 4 sensational semi-finals, that'll change the narrative entirely. But, yeah. What were the first week highlights, Damien, for you in matches?
In terms of individual matches, Tsitsipas Stricker for sure. Yeah. Fils Arnaldi maybe.
Don't mention Dimitrov, Molchan.
Yeah, no. I wasn't planning to. I guess these are the main 2 ones. Maybe I'm forgetting about something. Jean Groot wasn't actually that good, although I did enjoy Zizan getting a win like that. But
yeah,
I don't think it was actually that good. Tsitsipas Stricker, 10 times better probably.
That's about it, really. Leylah Fernandez, I think it was against Alexandrova, was pretty good. I think it was a first round match. Okay, now backhand here for Muchova. That hasn't been going well for her today, but it's going a bit better in this point. A lovely slice from her. And in fact, I was going to say forces the error. That might be a slight exaggeration, especially off a slice. But it's a good slice from Muchova. And now brings up 2 break points, 15-40. Her first break points of the match. Coco's had 2, and she took them both.
Yeah, it's gonna be cataloged as an unforced, of course, and rightfully so. But yeah, if she can play like these sort of knifing slices into the Coco forehand, maybe things will get interesting.
Yeah, it's the Coco backhand now that falls down, and we have a break of serve, and therefore 5-2. Time for some thinking. Karolina, a hold of serve from Karolina here, and things will get interesting. I'm still holding back on the word interesting, though, because I think she has been pretty vulnerable on her serve thus far. Hi, Janie. Great to have you on board. Gordes as well. Great to have you tuning in too. Make sure everybody all hit that like button. Janie there waving to Ghosty. Ghosty's not happy with our dismissive comments about Dimitrov Molchan. In fact, I didn't see this until now, but he, as we were discussing the bed, for the love of God, please say Molchan Dimitrov. And of course, I did address it, but not in the way that Ghosty would have liked. Rublev Medvedev was discussing this has to be one of the most sluggish matches I've ever seen. Winstappen, in fact, that's exactly what. Apparently, in terms of the conditions inside, it was. There's somebody fall ill as well, and taken. There was somebody else last night as well. I think that at the beginning, the Madison Keys match, I think somebody in the stands had to be helped out. But of course, I don't know what influence alcohol has here.
No, yeah, Rublev Medvedev was tough to watch, but even tough to watch. You could feel the conditions while watching them, and like how both guys were so struggling basically from the first set. Medvedev probably the one of the two that was even in more physical trouble, and yet he still managed to win it in three.
Yeah.
Maybe thankfully so, because if they went 5 sets in this sort of heat, then maybe they would not be able to.
Yeah.
Maybe the winner would really struggle to even take on Alcaraz tomorrow.
A wild forehand there for Muchova. It was there to be taken, and she didn't take it. Love 15. Yeah, I was going to say something about that match yesterday or the conditions, but I can't remember what it was. Doesn't matter. Well, here we are, love 15 on the Muchova serve, where she's barely looked comfortable or matched. But let's see if this one works out for her. Down the tee, it's a backhand return, so a forehand return. And now it's the forehand of Coco Gauff that errs, and we're at 15 all. He did indeed, Terry. In incredibly humid conditions, Millman beating Federer.
Yeah, that year was definitely something. Federer, Nagal also struggling with the humidity a lot, and then
Was it 2019?
yeah, and then Federer. No, it was 2018.
Okay, I remember Federer and Nagal in 2019.
Oh, it was 19. Oh, so
I
it's
think
not the same. Not the same event.
so. Yeah, I think maybe they played back to back, but I'm pretty sure they played 2019 first round.
No, they didn't play back to back. I thought it was the same event, but okay, never mind then. But yeah, Milman was of course 100. I can't remember how many, but like was it like 80 on first errors or something like that, 70? And yeah, that was a rough watch. Federer being the sweatiest man on the planet that evening.
30-15 now, Muchova. As she serves a second serve close to the line, but it must have landed in. So here we go. Forehand Muchova, good depth there from Coco. Backhand Muchova. Now it's a slice from Gauff. And the forehand from Gauff is pretty good. That's not bad from Coco. That slice from Muchova was interesting. And the Coco Gauff forehand goes into the net. And we've got 2 game points now for Karolina Muchova. Terry here saying that Roger said he must be used to those conditions because he's from Brisbane. But apparently Brisbane's not that humid.
Yeah, a few weeks ago I talked to Akira Santillan, and it was like really hot in Kozerki that day, and basically he mentioned I'm Aussie as one of the reasons why he was able to come back from a set down and sort of stay in the match against Whitehouse, which makes sense, that's how it works.
Okay, second serve here. Just over the net. Forehand Karolina goes long. Okay, 40-30. First serve into the net. So second serve here for Coco to look at. How do the Poles deal with the heat? Are they okay with it? I mean, the Poles are kind of renowned for them complaining.
Deal with the heat. I don't know. I feel like we definitely live in like a reasonably cold climate, but it's getting warmer just like everywhere. So, and yeah, we've got 5-3 now. And at the beginning, it was Muchova's backhand leaking errors, but now the Gauff forehand is sort of trying to rival it.
Okay, we've got over 50 people tuning in. Thank you for all of you. Please hit the like button and do subscribe to the channel if you're new as we head towards 3,000. Coco Gauff here trying to serve out this first set. It's the second time she's tried that. Let's see if she has more success on this occasion. Good depth there on the backhand from Karolina, but I think that forehand has gone wide, so it's 15 love.
Yeah, a little trigger happy too in this point.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Not sure if that was really the play after the last two games where Gauff is kind of helping her out. But yeah, now you can now we see what's the issue. Sorry for spoiling that. I usually remember not to do it, but this time I couldn't.
Resist.
Yeah, well, I actually could resist. I just forgot. And yeah, the Gauff forehand obviously working quite well when it's like a loopy shot cross court, but yeah, when she has it like from the middle of the court, like a second ago, it's really hard for her. And even even the next point, it will kind of like lose her all the advantage. Maybe not the point yet, but
good depth there though from Karolina, putting Coco under pressure. Drop shot is not the best drop shot you've ever seen, but she may yet win the point. No, she's not. Oh, yes, she has. I mean, point of the match, I would suggest, in terms of the length of the rally combined with moving each other around the court. Not necessarily every point was well executed, or every shot was well executed. I thought that
I'd go for the first rally of the match as the rally of the match so far.
Okay, I can't remember the first one.
18 shots, a bit of a floater from Muchova on the slice, and Gauff finishes it with the backhand down the line.
Okay, so things are getting interesting, at least, which may be the first time for a couple of days I've said that about a tennis match. Okay, forehand return from Karolina. Now she's on the backhand. It's a decent backhand. She comes into the net and she wins the point. That's what you're made of, Karolina. 15-40. Now it's very interesting.
And it's another one where like Gauff's forehand kind of lost it for her because she played that very like shankish, very short forehand again, like middle of the court.
Yep.
And Muchova just is she just lets Muchova have all the advantage there. And that's really a game where the forehand has flopped completely. Two points where it just gives Muchova all the advantage, and 2 points where it just brings the error. So 5-4, and Muchova, if she serves, if she manages to hold the next game, we're gonna be back on level terms, which seemed impossible at 5-1.
I mean, we more or less are at level terms in terms of they are now on serve, but obviously
yeah,
extremely difficult right now.
Muchova Gauff. I guess there could be a match between them when there's very few breaks, but so far that's not this one.
No. And maybe it'll be a bit easier for Coco to win the set returning than serving out. So a double break and 5-1 advantage has disappeared just like that. And yeah, things are looking much better for those either predicting a Karolina win or just supporting her. And we do have a match. I was a bit worried at 5-1 that we were heading in the same direction as we have with pretty much every match in the last 72 hours or so.
Well, yeah. The style in which we got this from 5-1 to 5-4. I mean, the worst that Gauff has played all tournaments probably.
Are you heading towards the word scrappy?
No.
Okay.
I don't think we have the same understanding of the word scrappy after all.
I mean, just that there were some good points, but
what is your definition of the word scrappy?
I mean, digging in, fighting,
Yeah.
winning ugly.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Winning ugly, maybe not, but like, yeah, digging in, determination. Yeah, that's the way I sort of meant it with Dan Evans and his slice heavy defense. But yeah, here I was just I just wanted to say that like from 5-1 to 5-4, it's been the Gauff forehand just killing her absolutely.
Yeah.
And it
Scrappy
also
match, but
it's not like Muchova really pushed her all that much as well. Like she just sort of dropped the nerves and began hitting like normal rally balls,
yeah,
finding
Coco
that
dipped.
one spot that Coco really struggles with a lot too. That forehand from like middle of the court, middle of the right side of the court.
I mean, we just need to see a few less unforced errors right now from Karolina, and she's got a much better chance of winning this match. Anyway, we're at love 15 right now. That's good depth there from Muchova. And she comes into the net. Oh, she would expect to put that volley away. It was tricky, perhaps, but she would expect to put that away given her prowess at the net, and it's now love 30. So we are 2 points away from winning the first set for Coco right now. Do hit that like button if you are new to the channel, and also subscribe. Okay, love 30 here. Muchova to serve. Forehand return from Gauff is not bad, but now again the unforced errors are coming off the checks racket, and we're at love 40. Hey Max. Okay, so love 40, Muchova to serve into the net on the first serve. I've seen Blondie live, Max, in Birmingham about 15, 20 years ago. Okay, love 40, second serve, forehand return from Coco. And this time Muchova errs again, and it is game and first set to Coco Gauff. The unforced errors returned. The trigger happy, perhaps, nature of Muchova's game also.
Yeah, I mean, was this really trigger happy? Like these were safe shots that she missed, basically.
Yeah, I mean the volley at the net, but that last one, maybe she could have just
Yeah,
played it safe.
but it was safe. Like I don't even think she was risking it.
I thought she was hitting it a bit harder than she had to, but
Personally, I think it was not pacey at all. But yeah, this was a ugly set of tennis.
I
It was
agree.
more
That's what I
competitive
mean by
than
scrappy, by the way, as well. I mean, scrappy is not a good watch.
no, then that's not what I mean. But it was just a really ugly set. I know we got finally like a more competitive scenario at least compared
Yeah.
to the previous 4 quarterfinals. Well, the 4 quarterfinals on the women's side, but yeah, I don't know if this is worth it. I think
I
I'd
know
rather
that's
see.
that's what I mean. That's what I mean by ugly, unforced errors deciding almost all the points. The guile with which Karolina showed in her previous match, perhaps because it's against Gosteo and not Coco Gauff, where it has not been seen yet. The volleying at the net, the slices from her are off. Coco leading 5-1, but then suddenly the forehand breaking down. Just yeah.
Yeah, Muchova is tied to a point where she cannot play until 5-1. Gauff's forehand just completely turns off for 3 games. But then Muchova hits like at least 3 just errors out of nothing in the last game. Uh, yep.
Did you sleep much today?
Today? No, definitely not.
I slept a lot. Well, intermittently. I had a bizarre nap at about 7 o'clock. I say bizarre just because it's such a bizarre time to have a nap at 7 p.m. It wasn't really planned. It just sort of happened.
Yeah, I didn't. So that this is actually going to help you a lot, I think, in staying up until the end of the night. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to do that too. But
Oh yeah, I'll be fine.
I
I'll
wish
be
I had an app as well, but that was not really a possibility. The only moment when I started like feeling a bit drowsy was maybe 11:30 p.m. and at that point it was too late for an app because it would be a bit longer than I would have wanted to if I, if I wanted to make this stream.
Ghosty, for me, it's quite an easy one to explain, and that is just simply that you're just pulling the trigger too quickly. You're up in a rally. You don't need to necessarily go big for the winner at that particular point. I mean, the footballing comparison would be Cristiano Ronaldo having 100 shots in a match, when you're just like, he's 25 meters from the goal. He could perhaps create an opportunity for a teammate, but he's trigger happy and he just goes big and he balloons it over the bar, and he does it so often in a particular match. And you could say the same in tennis, when somebody's just up in a rally, it gradually increasing the pressure, and they pull the trigger and go for the winner and don't win the point. They do it too soon as well. Maybe also from a position where they aren't that far up in the rally. It's like they're pulling the trigger from a pretty deep position on the court.
Yeah, just sort of bailing out of the rallies way too
Mhm.
quickly, which I don't think that for the most part Muhova was doing in the set. There were a few moments,
At the
especially
beginning of the
the
match.
first, yeah, and also the first point, because the fact that she's making a lot of unforced errors does not necessarily mean that she was trigger happy. Like she's just missing a ton of shots that aren't necessarily even all that aggressive. But there was definitely that first point at 3-5 down on Gauff's serve, where it was a key game for Muchova, and she just sort of goes for the super risky shot on the first point, takes the forehand very early off a deep ball. But yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory after
I
what we
just
said.
Ghosty was asking about it.
I know.
30 love here on the Coco serve, but again, it's some unusual or unforced errors from Muchova, meaning this is where we're at. And now Muchova goes long on the return, and so we're at 40-15. Ghosty's not a fan of Cristiano Ronaldo. I understand that. I can see how his persona comes across.
Can't say anything wrong, anything bad about his like work ethic though, professionalism.
No, true. Oh, that's a good forehand winner for Muchova. 40-30. I want to see more of the tennis. I mean, perhaps Castell is giving her that opportunity, but I want to see more of the tennis I saw from the quarterfinals from her.
And I guess this is an example of a shot where I would say she was a bit trigger happy. Like playing through the Gauff forehand usually should be just testing its consistency rather than
Yeah.
testing its ability to um, defend, ability to absorb power. So, was there really need to take that backhand so early? But yeah,
Again, from a deep position.
Muchova has not been that great at shot selection so far. Yeah, and actually of the forehand, Gauff has 11 unforced errors already, and
Mhm.
only one of the backhand side, which is quite interesting, quite wild. But yeah,
Yeah.
these are really like the three games from 5-1 to 5-4. I feel like they're probably responsible for at least a few of these, like at least 8, 7. So
Yeah. Okay, so now Muchova finds herself a love one down at the beginning of this second set. Yeah, there's people very high up in Ash just going to their seats and the cameras are focused on them.
Yeah, she's hit 11 on forehand and first error in 11 games, but 7 of them came in that 3-game stretch, which yeah was very clear. I think I've just heard some more Brad Gilbert advice.
Go on.
Wait, what else was that? Okay, I don't get what's happening. But yeah, basically he said to like keep being strong on her serve and to go through the Muchova backhand because she can't hurt her there.
Okay. I'm not quite sure what this is all about. Right now there's a
Brad Gilbert said it's free kids up there, but I'm not sure what. Yeah.
again, he's a bit like a grandpa. Just sort of sometimes when my father's complaining about something, I'm like, it's no big deal. Just let kids be kids. I mean, I don't know what's going on here. I think Coco doesn't really know why we haven't
Yeah, I
restarted.
think they're bringing out the key. Or is it just about people sitting down? Because there's still a lot of people sitting down. And it's obviously not a changeover. Well, it is a change of ends, but it's not a changeover. It's not an
Yeah,
actual
maybe they
break.
let a bunch of people in during
The
what was not a changeover.
Yeah, the supervisor is now on the court. Where's Muchova?
Oh, they're going to sit down.
What the hell is going on? Let's read Twitter. X, maybe.
I'm going to turn the sound up, maybe.
Oh no, is this a protest, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they didn't make it as far as the court. So we do have a break in play right now. While we deal with whatever this issue happens to be, for those of you wondering why we've suddenly stopped commentating and why the scoreboard hasn't changed, there seems to be some commotion of some sort. Both players are sat down. Coco Gauff has a few bites of the fruit. I'm sure Ghosty, knowing how healthy you are munching away on a similar healthy food. Terry just says security. I don't know if Terry's barking out orders to get security. Hi, Anastasia. Anastasia, I don't think you are there today, right? I think you've taken a day off from... this is wild. Tell us what's going on, Anastasia.
Yeah, Terry, I don't know what the protest is about because I feel like they're probably not showing it on purpose, right? In order not to give publicity, but apparently there's someone in like one of the upper rows that's screaming and delaying play, but
Oh, Anastasia is there. I can see her
yeah,
video
she
footage
is
now.
because I see a photo from her. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
And are these people that are protesting? I can't read on her photo what it says on their shirts, but I think they have like shirts with some text.
I just see Muchova getting some medical attention now, which presumably she wouldn't have been getting if the match had proceeded. stoppage in play is all it says. Coco Gauff is going to practice some serves, albeit that she will be returning serve when we head back to the court. Three people on the upper level. So some people are, protesting whatever, but it'd be good to know exactly what is going on. But I think we're getting a bit of a basic point.
Can we start playing tennis again? What does it even mean, security is trying to take them out? I just read something like this on Twitter as well. And like, isn't security like just, they come in and they get the guys out?
Yeah, normally it's pretty basic. I mean, security tend to be big people. I mean, they don't go.
Yeah.
They don't go. I tell you what, we'll have Leila Fernandez. You're in charge of security today. You get Mike Tyson and
Yeah, I think this is a job
John
that should
Isner.
be done in half a second, really. You just
especially as it's 3.
Yeah, free per free. I think one grabs one guy, the other.
They're not
And
leaving
then that's how
willingly.
it
That's
goes.
they're trying. They're not leaving willingly. Well, yeah. I mean, maybe this is tennis, but let me tell you this: other occasions, concerts, and
Yeah,
you don't get asked to leave.
I've been thrown out of a club, I guess, before.
I have too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not. And I would still argue that I was in the right, but they don't. That doesn't get right and wrong is not a question.
Yeah, exactly. I would
I
argue
mean,
that too, but the guy was basically threatening to beat me. So yeah, I
exactly.
decided,
Yeah.
okay, okay, I'm gonna get out. And then a friend of mine actually came up to him and he asked, "Hey, what are you doing?" He didn't do anything, and he basically grabbed my friend by his clothes and he threw him out with me.
Yeah.
So at
Yeah.
least I wasn't alone. That was.
I think they
Good.
call it strong armed. But yeah, we're still okay. So we're having a little look at where the location, at least. Do we know if it was actually a protest?
I'm just laughing at. Yeah, it is a protest of some sort, but yeah, I'm just laughing at Jake's comment.
What did Jake say? I missed it. Protesting. I know Muchova has been playing bad, but yeah, that is good, Jake. It would be even funnier if during the Lauda Siegmund match somebody protested about how long she was taking to serve. Well, while we're here,
Porno
please.
for Pyros? Is that a band that I just don't know?
What's that? Oh, I see. Oh, okay, from Jane.
That's a wild band name, if it
Yeah.
is the case, and it is the case, it seems.
I don't know who Cliff Drysdale is.
Okay, so it's former Jane's Addiction members. Okay, I did not know the band. Cliff Drysdale? You don't know Cliff Drysdale, really?
No, who's that?
He was a super famous tennis player in the 70s. And he is a commentator, and actually a very popular one. He is also old, and he does not. Yeah, like he basically doesn't understand anything anymore about tennis, about tennis commentary, and for example, when they do this ESPN or like round table predictions before slams, and before Roland Garros, I think it was maybe 2019. No, it was later, like 2021 maybe. He picked Daniel Medvedev as his winner and called him a clay court artist.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, respect to the guy for his career, but yeah, his
well,
opinions from what I read on Twitter, like his opinions often tend to be very inaccurate. I'm not saying in terms of like predicting stuff. I'm just saying the guy talks a lot of crap. He was the finalist at the U.S. Open in 1965, losing to Manolo Santana.
Oh, Manuel Santana. These are the pre-match words of Karolina Muchova.
Yeah, like exactly. The security should just be what? And Muchova is going off the court.
Yeah, Muchova's gone off the court.
I mean, why can't they just?
I mean, if it's one person, I mean, as Victoria says here, why don't they just?
Yeah,
There's one guy who won't
exactly.
move. Don't say why security isn't lifting them up.
Have they chained him to the like? Have they chained themselves to the
To the chair.
seat or something? I don't know.
I mean, of course, we had that situation at the French Open semi-final. I think it was between Ruud and Cilic in 2022 when somebody chained themselves to the net. They did it pretty quickly, and the questions were asked there about how they managed to get on the court, etc. But that was about a 5-minute disruption, I would suggest. We've already probably over 10 minutes. Coco is also leaving the court. Yeah, I'm at the moment there has to be. They cannot be that incompetent that they cannot remove an individual. They just can't be that incompetent. Otherwise, but so there must be something. Maybe they've chained themselves or something, and they're
Well,
shouting.
I muted myself for a moment to get back to the conversation that Gauff had with her team, and actually she's saying exactly the same things. Like she's just saying, what the hell are they negotiating? There's no hostage, so what are they negotiating? And also, she was asking Gilbert if she should leave the court, and he told her not to because she should be focused.
Well, she now has left the court, but that, to be fair, was 5 minutes ago, so things might have changed
yeah,
since then.
but yeah, that's. I cannot really find the words for this. Like, what the hell are we doing?
I guess there must be something we don't know because it's just no way they could be that incompetent. You know, there's 25,000 people in the stadium, and everyone wants one person to leave. It's yeah, 25. If that one person is holding up 25,000, then they must be a pretty big individual. Mind you, this does remind me of a incident on a beach I once saw in Brazil where a similar situation where there was one guy who was disagreeing with several people. That one guy, though, did bring out a gun, and in the end, the several people agreed with him. So that sort of calmed things down a bit, I guess.
Apparently, on their shirts, there's a it says fossil fuels something. I'm not sure what.
Okay, well, let me bring something to the party at least. A year ago, there was a lot of flyers around as you entered Flushing Meadows, just getting off the subway there, and they were handing out flyers against, I think it was against Chase, one of the banks that supports the Open, and these flyers were sort of decked out in similar colors to the US Open. It looked like sort of promo stuff for the US Open as such, but actually when you read it, it was like, you know, Chase should not be sponsoring this event, blah 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 blah, because of fossil fuel, etc. And those things got taken away. So there was some things going on last year as well, albeit not inside the venue, but outside the venue. And these people were also kind of being told to go away, and unknowing people were picking up these flyers or being given these flyers without even realizing, because they were quite forcibly removed as I walked in, and they were just being teared out of people's hand. So I guess something similar, but it's obviously being stepped up. Yeah, I'm sure I'm not aware of that. This reminds me of a beach in Brazil. Yeah, well, it just does, where this incident took place. It was with Argentinians and Brazilians who are not the best of times, best of friends at the best of times, but it was during the World Cup. And yeah, everyone's like, well, and they're like, yeah, well, yeah, we do see your opinion. Yeah, we get it. We get it. I mean, of course, I'm putting words in the mouth of whoever was speaking, because it was a fairly flustered moment. The police. What, King and Stuart Copeland? They're the police. This is not a party. This is not like a bunch of teenagers that are drinking too much and we've got to wait half an hour for the police to arrive.
Yeah. I guess that's how the rules, for the US Open probably work, right? They're just they just cannot get the guys out because they're afraid of, I don't know, some sort of law.
Oh, maybe, yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good
and they probably had to wait for the police, for Sting to arrive.
point. So curiously, we are reaching almost record levels of viewers right now, and we're not even talking tennis. I mean, we do have moments when we're not talking tennis anyway, but there's no tennis to even talk about, and people are tuning in for us for whatever reason. Hopefully, we're keeping you entertained in the meantime. We've got Anastasia within the grounds. How far are you away from this incident, Anastasia? Are you quite nearby? Because she said the police have arrived. Yeah, it's just kind of amusing.
You're not within their powers, says Ghosty, but so Ghosty says Terry, but like I don't know. I've been thrown out of the club before, and John has too, and no one cared about that,
Yeah, right. Okay, we are talking about different countries here, but listen, trust me. If I was in a club in the US too, and the bouncers didn't like me, I'm in big trouble for whatever reason. Okay, Anastasia's saying she's quite far from the incident, but clearly she's either seeing something or getting word. Yeah. Very bizarre. I mean, trust me, I know we may be in a different position to where we were a few years ago with this, but if I was smoking marijuana in a club in a state that didn't permit, let's say, I'm guessing Texas doesn't, I don't think they would. I don't think they'd ask me to leave, and then go ask me to leave again, and just sort of be polite, and then have to call the police, and then wait half an hour for them to turn up. At a venue where there's just a few hundred people rather than 25,000 as well. Very, very bizarre.
I am sick of this.
Well, I'm watching some highlights from Muchova from her match with Castella right now.
They actually wanted to show the Muchova highlights from her previous matches while there's the break, because they want people to know that she can play tennis.
She's capable. For those of you tuning in, especially for the first time, do subscribe to the channel and also hit the like button as well.
Come on.
Jane has also been kicked out. Yeah, let us know in the live chat. Have you ever been kicked out of a club or a concert? Do let us know. And if you're happy to share the details, that would be great too. So Jane has been thrown out as well. She was thrown over at the shoulder of the bouncer and just dropped. Yeah, that was very similar. I've actually been thrown out of two events. One was a club and one was a concert. And both I was unceremoniously just dumped on the ground.
Ooh, dumped on the ground as well. That I actually did not get.
Yeah.
I did get pushed around to the door, but no, thrown on the ground. No, that I actually didn't experience yet. I have not experienced that yet. Hopefully, in the near future, I'll make up for that. Yeah. So the police is there, Sting is there, and why hasn't he sung "Message in a Bottle" yet? And made them go.
Well, don't stand so close to me. That might be the problem.
Don't stand so close to me.
There we go.
Every little thing she does is magic. Or maybe they're Russians. So then Russians.
He's also got an Englishman in New York as well. Don't forget, as a soloist.
There could be an Englishman. Yeah.
Could be the Brits to blame. Is that the players preparing to return to the court, or are they actually sort of getting further away from the court? I just don't understand this. Are they coming back on?
It
What's
is
Twitter got to say about all
ridiculous.
this? What's Twitter saying?
Probably that it's ridiculous. I'm reading that the protesters were actually protesting against Creasy Everett and Pammy Shriver's commentary. That's what I'm reading on Twitter. I'm just telling that to you. I don't think
Well,
that's true. That's probably not factual.
well, the players are so far from returning to the court. They're now in the gym, and I don't think it'll be long before they'll be getting on the exercise bike. Brad Gilbert sharing his words of advice with Coco right now.
Well, I see Pereriba on my screen as well, so let's remember to mention him.
So yeah.
I've made this a bit of a meme, but obviously we don't really know who's the more impactful character in there. Over 20 minutes apparently now.
It's been 20 minutes since they stopped.
Yeah, and apparently it's really just the security not willing to get involved in like physical interaction with the protesters.
Well, if they don't become physical, we could be here for 24 hours because it's just weird.
Are they just gonna ask them to leave?
Just keep asking. Can you leave? No. Can you leave? No. Okay, so that means because eventually the weird thing is, I tell you what's weird. In about 40 minutes or whatever from now, they will strong arm this person out. They will. So we're just waiting for the inevitable. They will be strong armed out if they don't leave. And if they're not saying they will leave, within 3 occasions, which should be within 60 seconds. So you ask them, sorry, mate, you can't do this anymore. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Or, well, you should really leave. Okay. And then maybe if it gets resolved in the first 60 seconds, fine. That's all I can think of, Anastasia. They've somehow barricaded themselves to the seat. That's all it can be. Otherwise, this is just incompetent beyond comprehension. Yeah, of course they do, Terry. I don't believe any of this stuff that recent developments in the last 3 years mean that the police and security have no authority to forcibly remove people from a venue. If somebody is shouting, I mean, they did it with a guy yesterday, although he did seem to go, if somebody's shouting racist abuse, they will be removed immediately. Immediately. If somebody is threatening to kill somebody, they will be removed immediately. If somebody is even just being abusive through alcohol, they will be removed immediately. Okay, we're getting some more information now, Anastasia. Thank you for this. Apparently, he's glued his feet to the ground. Gluing your feet to the ground is how do you do it? But surely he's wearing shoes. Anyway. Oh no, Ghost is off on one now. Here we go. It doesn't take much to get Ghosty going, but here we go. Okay, so they've glued themselves to the ground.
Yeah, another great tweet that I have to read out, and I'm sorry, but I will have to read it out in its full, in its entirety. How much extra fossil fuels is being burned because of the twats? That's the feeling that I can relate to. Just give us tennis, But actually, I've also seen another tweet where some sort of environmental protest organization, which is actually called Extinction Rebellion New York City. Maybe they are the ones
I know Extinction
responsible
Rebellion
for this. I mean, they could be responsible for this. I think they actually are, because they are responsible for this. They said no tennis on a dead planet. If we don't disrupt, nature will. And then they also said we disrupted this tennis game because if the players want to play more tennis in the future, we need to tell the truth about the extreme dangers of business as usual. I am really struggling to resist from just writing "fu" in their in their comments now.
Yeah. I'm just going to maybe share some footage from within the stadium from the journalist Molly McKelvey, who's just taking this. I've turned the volume down because there could be some colourful language. It probably doesn't give us too much, but this is very close to where the individual apparently is glued themselves to the floor. Coco, meanwhile, is still chatting to a team in the gymnasium. As I say, I think they might be getting on the exercise bike at some point to get them going. Is there anyone going to benefit from this? Do you think potentially Karolina Muchova?
No, it's a guessing game, I think.
Yeah. Brad Gilbert just handing her a towel, not an ice towel, just a regular towel.
Because of these fossil fuel protests at the US Open, these massive lights at Arthur Ashe Stadium will be on 30 minutes longer.
No tennis to report on right now because there is an incident in the stadium where apparently somebody has glued themselves to the ground. Again, that is unverified, let's say, but it's certainly seemingly far more difficult to remove this individual than you would normally expect. When the tennis will resume is anybody's guess. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 5 hours. I can't show you close-up photos, Louis, because I'm not that close to the action. I see both players now in the gym, it seems.
Yeah, John from Lisbon has a tough time getting these photos, but if we see anything nice on Twitter, we can show it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I can show you the current score and play suspended. I can, of course, share some things from Twitter to show you the score from their match in Cincinnati recently, and also their paths to the final. Well, of course, all this is tennis related, but of course, none of us are here to talk about tennis. We're all here to talk about people gluing themselves to the ground. Let me see. What else can I find on social media? The point at which I get that done. That's the first set.
Yeah, they should just take make them take their shoes off and get them out of the stadium.
Yeah,
Unless it's the actual feet, then they should come with a saw and cut off their feet. Or maybe just put some duct tape on them. That would be good enough, because then they're not going to make any sound.
Yeah, talking about the scheduling tomorrow, Jake. Indeed, it's 8 p.m. UK time, 9 p.m. Central European time, and 3 p.m. local time will be the first match. Djokovic Shelton. Jamie Dubon will be there at that particular match as well. So hopefully we'll get some pre-match stuff from him. I'm just looking at Brad Gilbert again, pointing up at the top. Has 3 kids, get them out.
Yeah.
So I think I can see them talking to the individual involved in a grey T-shirt here. I don't know if this is live footage. No, I don't think it is. It's from like 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago.
And it's still going. From what I can see, there's police in there. I can see Sting's face. Stuart Copeland, and what was the
Stuart
third guy's
Copeland.
name?
Stuart Copeland,
Right.
yes, that's the other guy's name, yeah. And Sting have
What
now
was the
made
third
up,
guy?
and yeah.
Yeah, Stuart Copeland, Sting, and the third guy.
Oh, there's a third guy, is there? I thought it was just a two-man operation.
I'm pretty sure it was a third guy as well. Andy Summers, yes.
Oh, Andy Summers, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Someone had to play the guitar.
I think Stuart Copeland and Sting did not get on very well at all, especially towards the end. And Stuart Copeland said he found him unbearable. I think maybe they were recording on an island somewhere, maybe one of their last album, and it was just like, no, I can't do this. And I think they barely spoke for quite a while. I think they might be on better terms now, but yeah. Okay, the protesters have been handcuffed, according to Terry. I mean, we are all relying on hearsay, but Sky is showing some wheelchair doubles. Yeah, he's now getting into that,
and that's good. Yeah, that's what they should be doing right now. If the wheelchair doubles is actually still going on, which I have not checked.
They could be showing it from earlier, of course. But
yeah, I would have assumed that most of outside court action will be done. But yeah, actually it is, and it's a pretty good match too. Yeah, Alfie Hewitt, Gordon Reed playing Stefan Ude and this Sanada, Japanese guy that I don't actually know the name of. Let me check that. Oh, Takashi Sanada. And I guess that's the only outside court match still going on. Let me check that, but I think that's true. Yes, indeed.
What a forehand. So Jake is suggesting. By the way, we've got lots of you tuning in. Thank you for stopping by. Do hit that like button. And if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe. We are needing subscribers. Normally we talk tennis. We are dipping into the wheelchair tennis at the very least. I would love to show this wheelchair match, by the way. But of course, YouTube and the power not like.
And it is indeed the feet, by the way, not the shoes. There's a photo going around on Twitter right now, posted by someone who is called Jack Chapchak. And it's pretty Chapchak. CIAPCIAK.
I'm going to try and find this picture. Jack. And surname again, you're going to have to repeat it. Sorry.
CIA.
Yeah.
PCIAK.
Okay, I've got him. CIA.
Yeah. His most recent tweet.
Yeah, I'm showing. I knew it was a guy with a grey T-shirt. Yeah. So there we go. People wanting to get the picture of the actual incident. There we go. Look at the amount of retweets and stuff. That's got more retweets than likes right now.
Yeah, this is really incredible.
Oh,
not
yes,
the amount
he's
of.
not wearing any shoes.
Yes, you can see that it's feet, so there's no option. They actually thought this through, you know. There's no option to get them out of the. Like there's no option for him to just take off the shoes. Someone is asking, wonder what the exit plan was. There's no exit plan. That's literally what he wants to do.
Indeed. I'm a bit concerned as well because I only have 1.5 or 2 beers left. Yeah, presumably with this stuff that you can use to, I mean, where on earth are they making and being able to buy this stuff? I mean, who is out there who's going, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to invent something to stick human skin on concrete. And anyway, there does seem to be a market for it, and this guy has bought into that. I do hope he's not going to do any damage to the skin on the bottom of his feet. That could be quite painful. But equally, if he's not saying or doing anything, which it doesn't look like he's there, but I guess at some point he was. And
Yeah, he
therefore,
was standing and like screaming something, and that's why they even stopped in the first place. But yeah, maybe just put some duct tape on him. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's inhumane, and you cannot do it. I don't know. The Geneva Convention might be disallowing that.
Max, I didn't think you were a J-Lo fan. Honestly, we probably got double the audience we would normally have right now. Otherwise, I'd just, play a bit of music and chill for an hour or two. But we've got so many
Yeah.
people tuning in that want to hear our expertise on protests and people sticking themselves to concrete, which I just didn't even really know was possible.
We're gonna try to keep you guys entertained because of that. Hopefully not for long though. Hopefully it's just gonna be the
I mean, can you
match
just throw
really
some
soon.
water down there or other things to loosen things up? I don't know.
They're probably trying that, I guess, but
I must say I'm not trained in many things. Yeah, exactly, Vicky. Yeah, we've got a picture of it here as well. I'm not trained in many things, but if I have got some expertise in something, it's definitely not how to deal with people or even talk about people who have glued themselves to the ground. So I do apologize. Throw hot water on him is one such. I mean, yeah, we are kind of yeah, I don't know where the UN stands on this. I don't know. Maybe they'll be putting out a statement pretty soon to share their thoughts on how we should deal with this situation. Maybe we should put a poll on YouTube as well to see if you guys can come up with something.
and the US Open account has actually put out a statement now, but it's a bit of a joke. NYPD are in the process of resolving a fan disturbance. Play will resume as soon as possible. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah. By the way, I've just tuned into Twitter, and that Jack guy, his tweets at the top of my feed, even though I don't follow him now.
Yeah. Half the NYPD force has arrived at the US Open. And Nick Carter, our friend from Talking Tennis, says he's going to bed. Can't blame him. Although he also said that it's pretty clear after the first set that this match is in Coco Gauff's racket. I don't know where he got that from, but
Yeah, no, I saw that. I was thinking about sharing it, and then I thought, nah. Okay, apparently he's out now, so we may well be getting some resumption very soon, and at which point I'm sure half of our audience will disappear because they just want to find out what's going on with this protester.
yeah, that's probably going to be the case, but
it seemed like there were 2 or 3 others with him as well.
yeah,
but
they were not willing to glue their feet into
No.
onto the ground.
Probably as they went in there were probably 3 of them, and it was like, yeah, let's all glue our feet to the ground. All right, cool. And the one guy does it, and then the other 2 are like, well, we don't all have to do it, do we? And the other 2, and then, well, I've done it now. I've done it. I've glued my feet. And they're like, well, yeah, you're doing a great thing. You're the one. You're championing the cause. Yeah. And then the other 2 were like, well, thanks for that. Anyway, we've raised our voice, and the other 2 now are back in the hotel, probably chilling, waiting for the whole thing to be resolved so they can watch sets 2 and 3. I'm curious as to how they did unglue him if they haven't done so yet. SpongeBob is an interesting suggestion. If they have got rid of him, it's still a while before the players are returning to court because they're still in the gym right now. I mean, it will obviously be fairly swift. However, they'll probably do another warm-up.
Yeah, it's probably the 5-minute warm-up right now, so.
I'm pretty sure they'll have another warm-up, yeah. Terry, they're giggling at certain suggestions as well.
The man has been removed 35 minutes since the protest disruption has begun. And yes, they got him out somehow. So I guess they just I see a video of the policeman taking him out. So I guess it was just a matter of ungluing his feet, but how did they do that? That I don't know.
A lot of acetone, which I don't even know what that is, was used. Apparently smells like the fire department managed to do it. Okay, Zainab, thank you very much. By the way, all of you tuning in, please do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This may well help us get close to that 3,000 mark. Who would have thought that it would take a climate change protester gluing themselves to the ground to help do that? But there we go. All sort of things can help. Let's have a quick look. So how many subscribers? Yeah, we've got another 10 subscribers since we begun this chat, or maybe even a bit more recently. So that's cool. Okay, so good to know that the fire brigade were able to get things done. I therefore imagine I can see the umpire sort of readying herself to possibly return to her chair. And
Yes,
fingers crossed.
thank you to the great man of the New York Fire Brigade, and thank you for your service to
Yep.
professional tennis and to Coco Gauff and Karolina Muchova. Now let's just hope that during the second match there's not going to be a repeat of that. Another guy, another part of the stadium.
By the way, again, when you're a teenage boy or girl in New York and you're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a firefighter. Oh, good for you. Saving people's lives, running into burning buildings. What a hero. Yeah, I know. I just want to do my bit for the community. And if I can earn a half decent living on route, then all the better. Yeah, wow, good for you. You go for it. You achieve your goals. Then their first day is like, oh, right, guys, we've got an emergency. Yeah, what's going on? We've got to get to Flushing. Oh no, Flushing Meadows, what's going on? They've got a tennis tournament. Yep. Someone's glued their feet to the ground. Day one.
Well, it is ridiculous, but now that we know like the full story and the fact that he glued his feet to the ground, like
Yeah.
how do you actually remove that guy?
Yeah, I wasn't buying the they just couldn't forcibly remove someone because they can and they do. But there we go. I don't know how much of an involvement Brad Gilbert had in it. I seen him stomping up and down in the bowels of Flushing Meadows. Maybe it was Brad who finally got things done. I do get the impression that Brad is the kind of guy that would he's the guy who would turn up he would be that neighbor at a party. You've got a party, you're a neighbor of Brad's, and Brad won't just sort of ask you to politely turn things down. He'll just march into the living room and unplug the stereo. Cool. Thank you, Vicky. Yeah. Thank you as well for everyone, Anastasia, who I know is in Ashen, among others, for tuning in and giving us some, as it turns out, pretty accurate info. This is great. And keep posting pictures, videos. And I look forward to your video tomorrow, Anastasia, as you weigh up day 11 from Flushing Meadows. And yeah.
And the players are back on court now.
Yeah.
So Jake, you can get back from your wheelchair tennis adventure, unless it really. What? I mean, Ghosty, in this particular case, like basically the story that we got, the pictures were not from the media at all, or like just random fans. So
Terry, one of the two incidents will be, I can reveal without too much concern, and that was just in a club where I think I had a drink on the dance floor. In the UK, they are particularly sensitive about this scenario, rightly or wrongly. In most countries, I think it's pretty much just an accepted given that you're going to go to a club and you're going to drink and you're going to go on the dance floor. But I don't know if Damien rocks the Polish dance floors. Maybe it was your bad dancing that you got thrown out for that time, Damien. We haven't got to the bottom of that. Anyway, that was the reason I got kicked out and I was thrown out.
Yeah, mine, it actually wasn't that. Personally, I'd rather stay away from the dance floor. So basically, we just left a few times, and it wasn't even to get alcohol someplace else, because there it was more expensive and like,
Sure.
yeah, it wasn't really that, but that's what the guy thought, and yeah, he threw me out for that reason. and he said something along the lines of, "Do you think I don't know what you're doing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think you do." And yeah, that's
Ghosty, he doesn't take much to get going. I wonder if my only thing is, Ghosty, will you return to the tennis? Because we're going to return to the tennis in a second, because that's what we're here for.
well, we
Maybe
have the
maybe
whole story of why the U.S. Open couldn't get him out.
yeah. I think we
I
got
don't really give a damn who funds them or how effective are they. I just want to see the match. I'm sorry if that's
we've got to the
offensive to someone.
I think we've
You
got to
know,
the bottom of the story. Albeit it took a while to get to the bottom of his feet. I'm just
I think
disappointed, Ghosty, that you're not being regaled by our stories of being thrown out of clubs and concert venues. I'm a bit disappointed that Ghosty's still stuck on this Extinction Rebellion.
you know
Stuck was being the opposite word.
I generally sympathize with the cause, but not with the means.
Yeah. And by the way, I think Ghosty and I were having a rant about banks and the corporate guys that bring us these or sponsor these events. So there's just a bunch of people out there. Well, I did pose the question a little while ago as to who this may. Oh, by the way, I can't really reveal the second one. The second reason, so the second one was, I can tell you a little bit about the second time I was thrown out. It was a Robbie Williams concert at Nebworth in
Oh,
2003. Yeah, I thought that'd make you giggle. So 20 years ago, and I was thrown out of a Robbie Williams concert. There we go. And I was manhandled then as well. And I had two people pick me up by the arms. And yeah, they sort of opened one of the fences, if you like, and just threw me
isn't
to
this like a famous concert? Like, isn't this a concert
yeah,
that
super
he has
famous. He
received,
did
like released a live album of, right?
maybe, yeah, because he did three
I
nights.
think so.
He
Okay.
did
Yeah,
three
yeah.
nights.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he did three nights. I think about 120,000 each night. So it was kind of a record for the UK at least, and I think it still is a record
Okay.
in terms of audience over a short period of time, because other people have played that venue, but they've never done it sort of back to back over 3 nights.
And you were thrown out of that. That's
Yeah, but I got back in. So
okay. You got back
by
in.
the way, the support was awesome. There was a group called the Darkness, which were just sort of growing at the time. There was Moby, was a support act. Can you believe? Back then, he was pretty big and probably could have sold 60,000 tickets by himself. There was one or two other acts that I can't remember, but anyway, yes, it was a big thing. But that wasn't the end of the story exactly, because I just bought a ticket off the black market and went back in. I mean, you get thrown out of a nightclub, you're going to get recognized probably as you try to re-enter. 120,000 people, then you're not going to get seen. So, and I didn't pay a
Okay.
ridiculous price. It was like $50 to go back in, €50, something like that. So, the reason, by the way, I got kicked out is nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. It's not like I punched someone in the face, or I got in a fight, or I was, taking something illegally or something. It's rather innocuous, but I can't go into too much detail.
This is a terrible thing to do.
What shares most of the story, but not the key part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think the viewers got annoyed with it too, because 30 or 40 have all buggered off. Okay, well, what is going on here in front of me? I came here for the climate protest. I didn't come here to watch tennis. We have got some tennis underway, and Muchova wins the first point.
Tennis?
There'll be all
What
sorts
is
of narratives. Whatever happens from here on in, especially if Muchova does go on to win the match, there'll be all sorts of narratives that are built from this. Okay, Muchova here, 15 love. Forehand Karolina to the forehand of Coco. Keep going to that forehand. Okay, that seemed a bit more of a natural shot, to be fair. Slice there from Muchova. Forehand Karolina. Now she's on the forehand again to the forehand of Coco. Coco goes cross court to the forehand of Muchova. Be interesting to know if there was some sort of reiteration of tactics or even a change. That's nice from Karolina. That's not great, though, from her, but that is 30 love. Well, if the first 2 points are anything to go by, Muchova is keen.
No warm up? I mean, no, we had a regular warm up here. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, Muchova really got away with that first volley. Her touch
She
today
did,
has not been amazing, but when she had to play like a reactive one on the next shot, she was fine there.
Yeah.
Maybe this helps her just sort of take some of the pressure off. She was playing with a very like nervous edge at the beginning of this match, so. But yeah, obviously it could also help Gauff. You never really know.
No. Yeah. Ghosty, if you had social media or some other way of contacting you in a private manner, I'd be more than happy to share the final part of that story or the key part of the story. I saw that, Anastasia. I didn't hear too much, but I did see it. But I didn't think too much of it. But I did see it happening actually on the Eurosport.
Yeah, I didn't know what they were doing to her exactly. Like, didn't know which muscle it was.
But that just could be something that she suffered with in the past, and they just want to keep it loose. I didn't read. I didn't even mention it just because it didn't seem to, if it happened on the court during the match, I think I would have been like, oh, okay, this could be an issue, but or she sought a medical timeout for it. But it could be just one of those things that they just want to keep as loose as possible because it's something she suffered from in the past. That's a nice passing shot there from Coco. And we were back at 40-30. We had 3 game points for Karolina Muchova, but just 1 remains. Okay, Ghosty. Dr. Ghost. Terry, now speculation will be rife.
Yeah, Muchova is back on the board in the second set. Just,
good.
Yeah, that cross-court forehand from Gauff. That shot she usually is more consistent on, but this one. Yeah, abdominal is what I was also thinking when I saw that that they were massaging her like abdominal area, but apparently if they said on the commentary that it's a hip flexor, then probably it was something along these lines. I don't know. They probably know something we don't.
What was I going to say? Something probably not important. We're at 1-1, by the way. Oh yeah, WTA race. Muchova must be there or thereabouts. I don't even know where we're at with that.
Get to Cancun.
Yeah.
Yeah. She is pretty close. Let me see what the exact situation is, but she's in a great position to make Cancun because currently, well, we have just 3 women qualified: Sabalenka, Świątek, and Rybakina, naturally. And then you also have Pegula, Gauff, basically certain. Then there's like a gap, and then you have Wondrouszova, Muchova, which are same level, and both of them have 400 points ahead of Onjabeur. And the next player down on the list is actually Madison Keys, which is quite interesting. I would not have guessed
Keys
that.
is at about 9. Is she on the list? Is that what?
Nine,
Yeah.
but it's 900 to Muchova or Wondrouszova. So basically, assuming that Keys loses today, Muchova has a pretty safe spot in Cancun. It would seem like.
Okay.
Provided that someone like Keys does not win the WTA 1000 that is coming. it still won't be certain for a while, but she is in a good position to make Cancun for sure.
Good. And of course, the next couple of hours may well have a huge bearing on that if
Oh yeah,
Muchova or Keys win their matches.
Keys wins, Muchova loses, and suddenly it's not so clear
Exactly.
anymore. But it will also require like an effort from both Jabber and Keys. So
Yeah.
400 points away from like both of them, let's say. So
Exactly. And Jabeur now, I'm not sure how much of this part of the season will be too good for her on the hard courts. A comfortable hold there for Coco with a volley at the net, and we're at 2-1. Well, I guess we've had some drama now in this second week.
yes, it was like the break was longer than some of the matches that we had in the quarterfinals.
It provided maybe more intrigue and doubt and concern. I mean, I just wasn't sure if we were looking at minutes or hours or whatever to somehow get this guy off his feet.
I wish that was a joke, but it wasn't. Yeah.
I've also actually I didn't go to Isla Mujeres, but I know I was in Cancun once as well. You seen this comment from Ghosty? Ghosty thought he was in heaven. There's an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where there's this teenage boy and they take him to Hugh Hefner's house. I'll because they want him to he wants his dream to be fulfilled. I think he knows something about the main protagonist, Larry David, and Larry David says, "Don't tell anyone," and he's like, not sure I can do that for you. And he's like, "Okay, I'll do anything for you." And then so he ends up, as part of the sort of bribery, he ends up taking him to Hugh Hefner's house. Anyway, tangents, etc. Ghosty, I'd love to know if you're a fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Okay, Muchova to serve here at 1-2.
That's interesting. So they have an airport, I guess, in Cancun and also an airport in Isla Mujeres, which seems really close to that.
It does, but what is the operation at Isla Mujeres? I mean, probably non-existent, right? I mean, it's probably just for domestic operations, tiny flights, ones where you're just jumping on the plane and worrying if it's going to land.
Not really, because I think just a second ago Google told me that I have 14 hours by plane to Isla Mujeres. I will check how that connection looks, actually.
I would imagine the Cancun airport is probably one of the biggest in Mexico City aside. I've flown to both Mexico City and Cancun, but not Isla Mujeres.
It's actually showing me a flight from, let me tell you, from Atlanta to Isla Mujeres. So, oh no, it's actually to Cancun. Okay, never mind. It is showing me. Google is telling me that it's Isla Mujeres, but it's actually showing me the flight to Cancun instead.
People
which makes
were
sense.
also. This is just a little tiny thing. I really think it is. There's a million reasons to be upset with how the WTA is organized, and there's a million reasons to be upset with why and how this recent decision has come to about just a few weeks before. But one of the most tenuous complaints I saw on, I think it was on Twitter today, was there's not even a direct flight from Cancun to Seville, and I'm like, but Cancun to Madrid you can do, and then you just get on a train for 2 hours and you're in Seville because there's a high-speed train between the two. It's no big deal.
They're professional tennis players, they're millionaires. They're not going to go on a public train.
You don't think they'll go in I don't know. I've seen football teams use trains before.
I mean, most of them could.
Hey, first class.
I can't imagine Iga Świątek going on a public train. I don't know.
Really? I mean, it's a nice train journey. Well, I say nice, it's not that picturesque. It's pretty flat and arid.
I don't know. I just don't feel like it's something that her team would do.
But I've seen, lots of football players have gone by train various times. I mean, I remember when Man United were in the Champions League, all those days seem a long way away, when they got the train from Manchester to London. I mean, It would be kind of ridiculous to fly.
Well, I guess a bus would be.
A bus would be silly. Now that an overnight bus from Madrid to Seville, which will be 6 or 7 hours. If I saw
No. I mean, for a football team, that's how it's usually done.
Oh yeah, bus, right? Yeah, but those journeys are pretty short. The bus ones, they're not busing it from Berlin to Warsaw or something. Oh, a forehand there from Karolina Muchova into the net, and we've got a break point. I think it's the first one of the set. Agree, Winstappen, agree. It's just unbelievable. Okay. But there's something, I agree that selling the WTA may be one thing, but I don't think, this is just one tiny story, but not informing me about my media application for the US Open until a week and a half before. I just couldn't understand. And then turning it down. Fine, no problem turning it down. I'm not a big cheese, I get that, but just tell me 3 months before so I can get my life in order. A week and a half before was just insane, especially as they told me they would let me know by the end of June. Okay, Coco Gauff comes to the net here. Muchova should pass her, but she goes for the lob, but it's perfect. It's perfect from Karolina Muchova. Maybe it had to be, and it was deuce.
Yeah, Gauff actually didn't get rewarded for like a very smart choice here. The moment she saw that Muchova was going to slice again, she just runs towards the net.
Yeah,
and
true.
Pretty much should have won a point on that, but obviously she does not.
She maybe was just a second too slow reacting to that volley, but yeah, I understand what you mean. Deuce.
You could see how how Muchova just starts preparing for the slice, and then Gauff instantly has this lots of forward intent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, eventually she does not get rewarded for this, and struggles with the forehand from the middle of the court, sort of middle of the right hand side of the court again.
We now got game point for Muchova. The variety from Muchova, finally we are seeing a bit of it, that's for sure, but she's, yeah.
Imagine not staying up for this match and then waking up tomorrow and seeing 1,000 photos of a guy whose feet are glued to the floor.
I mean, the guy who tweeted that photo, whose name escapes me right now, Jack, whatever his name was.
Chapchuk?
Jack Chapak, which, does that sound Polish to you, that surname?
Yeah, it is like a bit Polish. It's not an actual word, but yeah, the sounds there and like the combination of letters is very Polish sounding. Yes.
TV writer is what he goes by as a profession. So nice one, Jack. I'm sure you've gained a few followers today. I don't imagine that as you were putting your phone in your pocket and thinking about tweeting the events that were going to unfold this evening, I didn't think you were going to take a picture and video of somebody who glued their feet to the ground. Okay, Muchova now is love 15 here on the Coco serve, so that's not a bad start for her, although we are now back at 15 all.
Yeah, maybe Jack or Jake or whatever his name was can write a TV episode about a guy who glued his feet to the floor.
Yeah.
But this could be taken to like another setting. For example, a wife wants her husband to get out of her house because he cheated on her and he doesn't want to go, so he glues his feet to the floor. Or a landlord wants to evict his tenant, but the tenant doesn't want to go and glues his feet to the floor.
Ghosty said he can't imagine Ego on a train either.
I was expecting Ghosty to agree with this, yeah.
Indeed, of course, Seinfeld was their original thing, yeah. Okay, 30 all here on the Coco serve. It's a good first serve from Coco. She comes into the net and she puts it away. 40-30, game point. Okay, Coco on the serve here into the backhand of Muchova, but it's long. Second serve. By the way, Ghosty and Jane and many others, they are all members of the channel. They have at some point or another clicked join, which you'll see just below the screen here. If you click join as well, and for just a couple of bucks a month, you can be a member too and help support the channel as well as get exclusive footage. I have no idea whether Coco Gauff or Karolina Muchova are members. In fact, I do have an idea. They are not members, but they could and they should be. But that's for another day. Coco Gauff has just held serve, and it's now 3-2 from 15.
They could have burner accounts, you know.
That's true. They could have, the name, other names. Yeah, because actually I do get the names of the members. You know, they could have a pseudonym. Yeah.
And by the way, I was about to ask, have you ever encountered a tennis player on a public train?
No, but I have encountered. So I mentioned this group called The Darkness earlier, and I met one of the guys from The Darkness, this band from the early 2000s that threatened to be big, but were just one sort of one-hit wonders. I met one of them on a train. I think that's about it on a train in terms. I mean, Cesc Fabregas famously used to get the underground in London. I didn't meet him on the train personally, but you know,
you didn't.
Christian Gross was the coach of Spurs in the 90s. A Swiss guy famously got on the underground and went in the wrong direction and was late for the match. The actual coach. Yeah,
nothing major for me, but I did ride a train with Even Furness once from Szekesfehervar to Budapest this year, actually. And also recently I've met this Polish junior on the train, Fryderyk Lechno-Wasiutyński, and he was actually going in the opposite direction to where his next event was going to be at. And I sort of wanted to ask what the hell is going on, but then I figured I'm just not going to bother the guy. He got to that event in time, so I guess.
So he was really going in the wrong direction?
Journey. I don't know. He was not going in the direction of where he was next playing, but it was like maybe 2 or 3 days before that event was about to start. So, you know, maybe he had a stop along the way, some other place. I don't know.
That was very close to landing in. My goodness me. I mean, the outcall did actually kind of surprise me because I thought it landed in. 15 love anyway, Muchova, to her relief. For those of you just tuning in, make sure you hit the like button on YouTube or on Facebook. There's a like button. It does help us with algorithms and all sorts. 15 love. 15 love becomes 30 love after an unreturnable serve on the backhand side.
By the way, is there such thing as a private train? Because we started saying public train and like...
Yeah, that's what I think. I also said train at one point because I don't think there is a...
Yeah.
I mean, there's business class.
Yeah, but there's no such thing as public train, private trains, I guess. Maybe we were talking about like jets or something, and that's how it became a thing.
Was that an ace? Yes, it was.
Yeah, yes, it was. Yeah.
40 love.
113 miles per hour. Well, you're showing this to us. Ben Shelton hit 149. There was an interesting quote from Madison Keys a couple of days ago where she said that her partner, Bien Fratangelo, former top 100 player, told her that if she's going to hit like 121 on serve, then she's going to be able to do anything she wants in the points. And she hit 119, I think, against, who was it? Vondrousova.
Okay.
Or maybe it was the previous match, but, you know, one of them at least.
Oh, that slice sort of drop shot didn't work for Karolina Muchova. 40-15. Muchova to serve here, 40-15. Still got 2 game points in the pocket. Not that she has any pockets. I mean, women and pockets are a sort of a thing, because even when even women that wear jeans, sometimes their sort of pockets are just sort of sewn on, and I'm like, why don't you wear pockets? I don't get it. Pockets are so useful. I mean, pockets and wheels on suitcases are 2 of the best inventions of the last few hundred years, I would argue.
Computer, internet, TV. But anyway, I think
wheels on suitcases. I think it's because of the bizarreness that we were wandering around for centuries with suitcases, but no one ever decided to put a wheel on them. I think it's the bizarreness of not having put the 2 and 2 together that I find so intriguing.
as for pockets, it's basically also because of the fact that the women tend to wear purses, and they actually have a
Smaller
space for
purses.
their they have a space for their wallet, they have a space for their phone, which we don't, and we really need these pockets.
I also have a routine. I have my house keys in left pocket, car keys in right, although I rarely drive these days, so it just tends to be the left. Phone in the left pocket, wallet in the right. And I've probably in 25 years, I've never had my wallet in my left pocket. If I had my wallet in my left pocket, I would feel very, very weird.
Okay, I definitely don't have a routine like this.
For those of you in the live chat, let us know, what do you have routines? Do you always have your wallet in the right or the left pocket? If it's the left pocket, what's going on? Do you not feel a bit weird or uncomfortable? Because surely the wallet has to be in the right pocket. Anyway, 3-all here. Coco Gauff serving. This is turning into an interesting point in terms of the way it's turning out. And that must have landed on the line. We've got some moon balls going on right now. Coco breaks the rhythm, and Muchova tries to break it even further with a winner, but she goes long on that backhand. She was coming into the net anyway on a very short ball from Coco. 15 love. Winstappen is fine with either pocket for his wallet or her wallet. I keep thinking Winstappen is a guy, and I assume it is just because of Max Verstappen.
Yeah, it's like a male sounding name for sure, but it could be wrong.
Forehand slice from both players. Now it's Coco on the forehand, and it's Muchova going big on her forehand and long, 30 love. Someone with a Moratoglu t-shirt, very near the Coco team. In fact, I would imagine she's a part of the team. Coco into the net on the first serve.
Yeah, I wanted to say a couple of games ago that Muchova is looking way less tense after the break, but I'm not sure that actually holds up, especially in this game.
40 love.
Lots of these like neutral rally ball slices that she's missed today, which you can never really afford to do that on a very passive shot in like its conception. Well, it doesn't have to be passive, these fewer.
Oh, I mean, the drop shot was okay, I guess, for Muchova, but Gauff did not punish her in any way, shape, or form. 40-15. Ghosty, concern for public health. That's very kind of you, Ghosty. And it's game for Coco Gauff. So it's 4-3 that she leads. So a little bit more pressure now on Muchova as we head towards the serious part of this set. I'm just going to play a quick video right now of me talking to Coco earlier on this year about her chances of winning her first Grand Slam. You've been to the French Open final. Your breakthrough, at least standout result at the beginning of your career, was on grass against Venus. You've been very solid on the hard courts. Is there a slam in particular that you go, I think that's, if I'm going to get one, the first one might come here, there, or where?
Well, I don't know. I mean, everyone, I'm like, I think this is the first one. So I don't know. I mean, obviously now going to the French, I do have a lot of confidence on this surface. But I'm not really thinking about that. I feel like, in the past I was, and it gave me some like defeats that I feel like I shouldn't have lost, maybe more so my head. So going in now, I mean, I feel like, everyone could be the one, but I think I have to just take it a match at a time and just feel it out and enjoy it. I think when you focus too much on the destination, you don't enjoy the journey there. So now I want to focus more on the journey, and if the destination gets there, that's great.
Do you think grass is her weakest surface? Damien?
Come again?
Do you think grass is her weakest surface?
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's not really a discussion, I think. At this point, we could probably start thinking whether clay or hard, but is her best. But obviously, grass is something that she has no experience on, and well, no experience is a stretch, but like, yeah, just less experience compared to the other surfaces, and
Yeah.
it just usually doesn't go that deep, which I don't really know if there's a huge reason for. Maybe in the future she can also turn it around there. Why not? The assumption always was that like she has this huge extreme forehand grip that is really attackable, but yeah, nowadays we probably see more of like her forehand issues when actually not, but there's no pace coming at it. So maybe that's how like her grass game can also be turned around pretty soon. I don't know.
I don't think the return game from either player has been that great today.
Not much has been great from either player today, I'd say.
15 all right now on the Muchova serve.
The quality has improved after the break.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Marginally, maybe, but it has, although you wouldn't really be able to tell that after this smash.
Has she put that wide?
That's what my scoreboard says. I actually thought it was going to be
dear.
in, but yeah, that's what my scoreboard here says.
Yeah. She was so good on the smashes against Castella. Some tricky smashes that she just dealt with so well, but that was ugly. And her net point win percentage is 31%, which for someone as good at the net as she is very low. 15-30 here.
Yeah, she's struggling a lot today to like land the finishing blow in the rallies. A few of these volleys, drop shots with very poor touch on them as well. Funnily enough, out of these 5 points that she won, I can even remember a couple that like Gauff just didn't put away, despite Muchova's weaker volley or a drop shot. So it could have been even worse.
I mean, is that a winner from Coco? No, it's not. It's gone long. Every ball that lands in from Coco, I'm just thinking Muchova's going to unleash something, but there's probably a 60% chance it's not going to be a winner. Which, when you're unleashing, you should be winning more than half of those. Otherwise, there's no point in unleashing, really. 30 all. Muchova to serve. She got away with that one a little bit as well after an unforced error from Coco. I think their score in Cincinnati was 6-4, 6-3, wasn't it? No, 6-3, 6-4.
Yep.
So
it could be a reverse of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, Coco could have come into the net there, chose not to. Forehand now from each player. Backhand Muchova, backhand Coco, forehand Muchova, backhand Coco, backhand slice from Muchova. Okay. Oh, was that long there from Coco? Okay. I was just about to praise her for good depth, but it must have just landed long. 40-30. There haven't been many deuce games today from memory. I don't remember too many sort of. First of all, I don't remember many deuce games, and secondly, I certainly don't remember any that were sort of like 2 or 3 deuces.
Yeah, but the protest made up for it for sure.
That was the protest was longer than the Alcaraz Djokovic game in Wimbledon. 40 minutes, I think the protest was more or less in the end.
Yeah.
Second serve here for Coco Gauff to look at. Muchova goes. Oh, it's a double fault. Deuce. Interesting times now. Muchova can't afford too many more errors like that at such a crucial juncture. Do hit the like button both on Facebook and on YouTube, and also on YouTube you can hit that subscribe button just below the screen as we try to get 3,000 subscribers. Deuce here, Muchova serving. Forehand return from Gauff. She's in charge of the point and she wins it, and she has a break point for 5-3. Brad says, well done, Coco. I mean, she was in trouble, really. Come on, she shouts. First break or second break point of the set. Muchova to serve. How much would she like to buy a first serve right now? Doesn't get it. Goes down the tee and wide. Second serve. I think I know what you mean, Winstappen. Okay.
Yeah, this could be over in a flash, and it also looks like it might be.
Oh, backhand return. Backhand error for Muchova means we have 5-3 Coco Gauff, with the American serving for a place in her first US Open final as she looks to replicate her Grand Slam run in Paris from last year. 5-3 now. Coco Gauff serving for the match. How's your nerve, Coco? Please, all of you tuning in, do hit the like button. And many of you will not be subscribers, but you can soon become one by clicking subscribe just below the screen. Okay, forehand here from Coco. Comes into the net. Doesn't need to hit a point, though. Hit the ball because Muchova goes long with the forehand. 15 love. Are we going to have another straight sets match at the US Open? It's looking that way right now. 3 points away, Coco is from the final. There could be a double fault somewhere along the line. Second serve here. Muchova's pretty deep for this. Forehand return from Muchova. Goes long. She's gift wrapping a few presents for her opponent right now. 30 love. Coco Gauff's to serve. Thank you for the support, Max. Yes, we are almost at 3,000. Okay, Gauff to serve. 30 love. Oh, what did I tell you about the double fault? I mean, it wasn't exactly Nostradamus-esque prediction, but I remember her having quite a few issues with double faults about a year ago, overshadowed somewhat by Sabalenka's issues. Oh, I see the guy in the crowd that Anastasia met her. an actor, I think, a US actor. His name escapes me. 30-15. Down the tee, forehand, chopped slice return. Good shot there from Coco, forcing her player out wide. Coco comes into the net. Muchova passing shot. Lovely. Muchova. Finally, you deliver. 30 all. Also, if you love your tennis, please do join the channel as a member. Good first serve there from Coco. Drop shot Coco is sublime. Sublime, Coco Gauff. Take a bow. Match point. Naomi Osaka almost smiling in the crowd. She has vowed for a full-on return to the tour next year, beginning in Australia. Anyway, match point, Coco Gauff. Where are you going with this one? You are first serve in. Muchova return is deep and it's in. Comes in for the drive volley. Is it going to be a winner? No, it's not. Muchova at the net. She puts it away. My heart was in my mouth for her right
Yeah,
there.
definitely. Muchova does not give you the confidence today that she's gonna finish off anything at the net, which is uncharacteristic for her. But
She couldn't even finish a pizza today.
pizza?
Don't know. I couldn't think of anything to say.
Oh, that was okay. I just didn't. Just wasn't sure if I understood it.
Yeah.
Um,
Second serve here, Deuce. The drive volley was the really tricky one. I mean, the net one really, you just don't know, especially with the elbow as well. There needs a bit of movement there. Okay, Coco Gauff, serve, forehand return. Coco on the forehand now. Muchova backhand. Forehand each player now. Backhand Muchova to the forehand of Coco. Muchova backhand. Stick to the forehand, you think. Coco's forehand goes long. Stick
she did
to that
stick
forehand.
to it and
Where
got rewarded. Yeah, and even cross court, even cross court, there was this very short one, and then when she tried to like play the combination that she's usually the most uncomfortable on, it was instantly an error.
Okay, Coco Gauff now facing a break point, serving for the match. Ooh, that was a wild first serve. Okay, she's already double faulted once in this game. Second serve here, Coco. Lands in, forehand return, forehand to forehand right now, which is an exchange that Coco changes by going to the backhand of Muchova. That makes sense. Net cord, lucky Coco. Backhand slice from Muchova, lands in. Backhand slice again, hits the net. Could see that almost coming as she shaped up. Deuce. Deuce, ladies and gentlemen. Tense moments for both players. One has the knife edge of losing the match. One has the knife edge of trying to close it out. Backhand errors from Karolina Muchova today, 17 to just the 3 of her opponent. I mean, in a way, I understand Brad Gilbert saying go to her backhand because, nice attacking passing shot. As I just talk about Coco's plan via Brad Gilbert and praising it of going to the backhand. The reason why is just because the natural shot, if there's good depth on it, is for her to go cross court and therefore to the Coco backhand. However, I wasn't counting the fact that Coco could be at the net and Muchova would have an amazing passing shot. Anyway, break point here for Muchova. Clip the net that first serve, I think, right? So it's still the first serve. And she takes 2 balls. Break point number 2 for Muchova.
Oh,
Go
Jesus.
On,
no, at the same time, like Gilbert is mostly telling her to go like high to the backhand, which is, in this sort of situation where she was approaching the net, it wasn't really, it wasn't really that what he meant, I guess. But yeah, that another forehand error, and it was definitely breaking down again in this game. Well, we said that the quality here was not exactly sky high.
It's remained that way. I mean, it can change. Don't forget, we were at a similar juncture in the Cincinnati final between Djokovic and Alcaraz, where it turned out to be one of the matches of the year, but halfway through that second set, it was anything but. Perhaps because of the conditions that particular day. I know Novak was struggling quite a lot. For those of you watching, please do hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, just hit subscribe. We need subscribers. Yeah, well, Coco had the yips as she's tried to serve out. Don't forget, of course, she had a similar situation in the first set. In fact, she tried to serve it out twice and failed, where Muchova benefited, if you like. But in fact, she ends up winning it on the return game of Muchova. So not all doom and gloom for Coco right now.
Yeah, and Muchova has like the discipline to keep going at the forehand and not necessarily going at it with a lot of pace, but yeah, also just keep putting Gauff in that uncomfortable spot that she has from like the middle of the court. She has been winning these games. It's just that most of the time she doesn't have the discipline today, or at least doesn't have the consistency.
I get Ghosty here completely. As someone whose forehand is much stronger than their backhand, I've always found it a bizarre characteristic with someone's game where their backhand is their strength, and their forehand is their weakness. But there we go. Anyway, maybe it's something else. But anyway, here we go. Muchova to serve into the forehand of Coco. Backhand, Muchova. Coco, good shot there, Coco. Oh, what a point this is turning out to be. Now, that's what we're here for. Because both players, I think, played 3 or 4 exceptional shots in that rally. That was a good one from Coco. But what a volley there from Muchova. To be fair, Coco chased it down. And not only did she chase it down with interest by actually making it really difficult for Muchova. But Muchova got her racket on it thanks to her athleticism and wins the point. Wow, she was stretching every sinew there. Okay, 15 love. Something tells me, though, this is not going to be a comfortable hold for Karolina.
The next point kind of tells me, yeah, that it could be.
Okay,
actually.
30 love.
No, but it was an okay pattern for Gauff. You know, she just missed that one backhand, but if she actually landed that on the line, probably a point for her. Staying in that
Coco
backhand
unforced
cross-court
errors are
exchange.
creeping up now. They're up to 20 odd for the match. Maybe more.
I'm by the way like middle of the way to what you said about the forehand backhand, because whereas I definitely consider the forehand my strongest shot, in times of trouble I'm actually more comfortable hitting backhands, just because I feel like the forehand motion is more complicated.
Times of
and
trouble.
Under pressure, it tends to break down a bit.
This is another interesting point, but I think it's going to land out. No, it doesn't. Lands in.
No,
wow.
No.
What is going on here? Wow. Coco Gauff with a passing shot after a couple of lobs, sort of, from either player. And Muchova was struggling to stay in the point at one point, but then she incredibly did. Yeah, I don't know how to describe this point. I mean, Muchova does really well, by the way, by chasing that lob down and managing to get it back in. Sort of a lob on top of a lob. There's been 3 or 4 points in the last 5 minutes that's really helped give this match some energy. 30-15. Ghosty's got a defensive backhand slice. Is Ghosty a pusher? Oh, is that volley going to be good enough? Not directly, but now. That's Muchova. That is the Karolina Muchova that we know and love and has been absent for most of this match. That volley. They're just replaying this point, actually.
Yeah, they're replaying the point from
before, which is a bit confusing.
2 rallies ago.
I was saying that that volley in reference to.
Yeah, I did not remember that volley that you're mentioning. I have to rewind to it, but
it was a volley in the 30-15 point. She's actually held serve as well after Coco errs on the forehand side on the return. So we do have 5 all. My My prediction of a Coco double fault came to fruition, but my prediction that it was not going to be a comfortable hold for Muchova did not. 50-50. You win some, you lose some. 5 games all. Ghosty, tiebreaker incoming, perhaps. But Ghosty, are you a pusher? Is Ghosty just one of these guys that just taps the ball back over the net and just waits for the error from the opponent? Discuss. Backhand return from
Is John there? Did he disappear from our screens? I guess he did. But anyway, Muchova won the first point of this game with some, well, in another incredible play at the net, actually. And right now she's definitely hitting a lot more freely, going forward with confidence. And yeah, John was very right that this is the sort of tennis that we've been wanting to get from her in this match, at least for it to be competitive, and the last 3 games have definitely been that. So 15 all. Yeah. Oh, the battery.
Yeah, no, it wasn't internet, it was battery.
So you're back pretty quickly then.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And you're back for another Muchova mishap at the net. And this one is just careless, honestly. There was no reason to play this volley like this.
30-15. I didn't miss any of the tennis, fortunately, in the 30 seconds that I was away. I saw a really good backhand winner from Coco in this service game. Just reading some of the comments. To be clear, his defensive backhand slice is 149 miles an hour slice. Okay, Coco comes in on the backhand side. Not bad defense from Karolina, but in the end, she can't chase that one down. 40-15. And Gauff must be thinking, why couldn't I serve like this 5 minutes ago? Okay, Gauff to serve here. 40-15. 2 game points for a 6-5 lead. Forehand return is pretty decent from Muchova. Backhand Muchova is not decent. It goes out, and we have 6-5. She's 1 game away again from a place in the final, but this time, of course, she won't be serving for it. Do hit the like button. How many likes are we at, Ghosty? Let me know in the chat. Have we reached, I'm going to guess 30 likes, maybe? That would be half decent, I would say, for 2 sets of tennis. Also, for those of you in the live chat, let me know where you're tuning in from, which part of the world. We all know that Damien is in deepest, darkest Poland. I'm in
Indeed.
Sunday. It's no 46 likes. Okay, that's not too bad. Thanks to that climate protester, maybe that boosted our likes on YouTube. We might even get 50, therefore. Maybe for all you know, maybe I've got a guy inside Ash doing the climate protest just so I get more views and likes on YouTube and subscribers. It's all part of the plan. Muchova stares into the distance as she's going to serve to stay in the match. At 5-6. So pressure here. She dealt with it pretty well before when she held to 15. Is she going to hold comfortably this time and force a second set tiebreak? Of course, both these players have been in one Grand Slam final before. Both of them, of course, have been in the same Grand Slam final, not the same year, albeit, in Paris, 1 year apart. And both of them, of course, in that final or in those finals, came unstuck to Iga Swiatek. But most players do on the clay of Paris.
Muchova got fairly close, though.
Yeah, very close. Break up. I think she was 4-2 up, was she, in the decider?
I think it was 4-3. I don't think it ever got to 2 games, but
She had a break. She had a break up. She was a break up, but it might have been 4-3.
I think it was 4-3, yeah. But I could be wrong.
She was definitely a break up anyway.
Yeah.
And I don't think she got as far as serving for it, so...
No.
I know she
I
was
mean, she couldn't have because it was 6-4 in the final set.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so she probably got the break, but then was a break, but was immediately broken back. That's quite possible. Okay, love 15 on her serve right now. I think we had 1 match point for Coco earlier. I could be wrong on that. Did we have a match point at 40-30?
Yeah, it was that long point that Muchova eventually finished off at the net when we were
when the heart was in the mouth.
Yes, holding our nearest and dearest, and on that occasion, though, she managed to. Ooh, yeah, that ooh is very is very mysterious for now.
Ooh. Yeah, because it's a net cord that you just don't know which way that side of the net is going to bounce on, and it landed back on Coco's side. It was almost an excellent volley. Her mother, by the way, is looking very nervous right now. She's chewing more gum than Alex Ferguson, if you know that expression. But anyway, whatever. 15 all. Muchova to serve. Finish line for her is a long way away, that's for sure, but it is tennis. Forehand Coco is very good and forcing that error. I mean, it's almost a winner from Coco on the forehand side. Yes, you did hear me correctly. And it is 15-30.
Yeah, she ramps up the pace on the forehand cross-court finally and
reaps the reward.
Some reward. Maybe it's because Muchova was also not expecting that, Maybe she was positioning herself a bit more to the backhand, yeah.
You sort of leave a gap. You sort of protect also your weakness, but also maybe you also think your opponent.
The Gauff forehand has not been a threat today, so it would be a bit natural for her to do that.
Okay, forehand return from Coco. Plenty of bounce on that one. We could be looking at some more match points. And we are.
Yeah, and we will be, yeah.
Yeah, 15-40. 2 match points, Coco Gauff. Two more to add to the ones that she had on her serve. It was a sort of an anxious forehand there for Muchova that went long. So, 15-40. A Muchova first serve and a couple of first serves here, and we could quite quickly be back at deuce. Easier said than done, of course. Oh, the ball toss goes up and doesn't get struck. So, still a first serve here. Muchova to serve. Good first serve. Forehand Muchova. What a winner! Karolina Muchova. Bearing in mind how often those sort of trigger moments have not worked out, as Alec Baldwin once said. Today, though, we have now 30-40. One of those break points has been saved. Sorry, match points, I should say. Well, break points too, but I don't think Muchova is going to be... Gauff is going to celebrate a break of serve. I mean, they are break points too, but... Okay, 30-40. Muchova serving down the tee. Forehand return. Forehand to forehand right now. Backhand for Muchova. Backhand Coco Gauff to the forehand of Muchova. Forehand Coco Gauff. Another forehand. That's going to land in, though, from Coco. We've sort of got some moonball type. Oh, Coco on the forehand pushes it wide. Damien, of course, is about 15 seconds ahead of me. So I'm on match point. I was waiting for some sort of...
No, actually, a bit less, I guess, now. But that's what it seems, at least. Maybe my stream has lagged. But yeah, Muchova suddenly playing some of her best points, match point down.
Yeah.
Although eventually she had to rely on Gauff's forehand.
Yeah. Well,
again.
yes, she did, but there was also one good winner from her as well. Okay, are we going to get another match?
Yeah.
We're going to get a game point here. We're on the backhand now to the forehand of Coco. And Muchova's not playing ball here, as in like Coco must be thinking, please go to... Oh, Muchova into the net. And we have another match point number 4.
Like the amount of these backhand cross courts where she has Gauff in the backhand corner, in the forehand corner, and like tries to flatten it out cross court. She's made so many of these today.
So many, yeah.
Yeah. Anytime I see her...
Yeah, I feel the same. Every time I see her pull the trigger, ready to pull the trigger, then I'm thinking, oh no.
Yeah, anytime I see her going for this shot, I'm already seeing it at the net, basically.
Yeah.
In the net.
Oh, I thought that was an ace for a second. It's quite difficult to see. Match point number 4, second serve. Do not double fault, Karolina. Okay. Backhand return is good. Forehand from Coco. I think she might just stick on that forehand for now. I wonder. Or no, she doesn't. She mixes up. Good depth there from slice. Oh, that my heart was in my mouth there. Forehand for Muchova. Not bad, Karolina. She saved another match point. Much calmer and maybe cleverer Karolina there. And she's back to deuce. Some tired, maybe even slightly drunken faces I see in the crowd. Do hit the like button. We might not have much longer left in this match, so please hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel if you're new. Deuce. Muchova to serve, and we're at deuce.
Also, some tired and maybe slightly drunken faces on the stream right now. Well, slightly drunken in at least one case.
Yes. Backhand to backhand right now. And we're going to have another match point, a 5th one. There must. I have no idea what the record is in tennis to have match points and not go on to win the match. It's probably...
We've had 12 on the Challenger Tour last year.
Really? Okay. 12 match points and then not win it.
Benjamin Hassan beating Lukas Midler. And I'm not sure if there's a record that's...
Muchova to serve here, facing her 5th match point. She goes down the tee. It's a good first serve. Oh, wow. Again, that drive volley, which for me is the most nervous shot in tennis, and there's plenty of nervy shots. She puts it away, and we're back at deuce. Two hours dead on the clock. I mean, we could be here for another hour yet. Coco muttering to herself as she receives this serve. I have no idea what she's saying, but maybe she's just saying, go for it. Let's go for a winner and get this point over and done with. She doesn't have to on the first serve. Second serve here. Yeah, indeed. Muchova's not done herself any favours today, but here we go. Forehand return. Forehand Karolina. Forehand from... I thought that was going to be long there from Coco, but it's not. We're still in the rally. A bit of a calmer backhand there from Muchova. Coco thought about coming into the net. Didn't. Is the point going to continue? Yes, it is. We're basically at neutral now. Backhand from Muchova. It's a tricky backhand, to be fair. Forehand from Coco. Backhand Muchova. Oh, I was nervous for her there because that was one of those ones that she's been missing today, albeit that one was down the line rather than cross court. We're into a fairly deep rally here. Moonball kind of backhand there from Muchova out of nowhere. Forehand now. Backhand slice from Muchova is pretty good. Good depth on it, at least. Another backhand slice, this time on cross court. We must be getting towards 20 shots. Another good one. Good forehand, though, from Coco. Oh, I think we're going to be... What's going on? Okay. Backhand drop shot from Muchova is not good enough. Possibly bailing out on that rally. I don't know. But the drop shot was just nowhere near what it needed to be. Maybe she didn't trust a third or fourth slice in the rally in a row, because that seemed like the more natural shot to go for. And we have a 6th match point for Coco Gauff. That was 40 shots. Wow. A 40-shot rally. Okay, match point number 6. Muchova serving, bouncing the ball. Again, very keen for a first serve. She's had a few first serves earlier on in this game. Match point number 6, dearie me. Okay, Muchova. First serve is in. Coco Gauff to the Muchova forehand. Coco Gauff forehand. Muchova backhand is long. And again, it's that backhand cross court that errs. Normally, she's going big on it and into the net. Anyway, Coco Gauff, at the 6th time of asking in this game, wins, or 6th time in this match, I should say, wins in straight sets, 6-4, 7-5. Coco Gauff into her first US Open final. She is delighted, understandably so, waving to the crowd, maybe to everyone except one person who disrupted proceedings, let's say. And yeah, job done, I guess, from her side. A little bit like the Ostapenko match in that she just had to just be steady and maybe just wait for her opponent to err.
Yeah, except she wasn't really steady for the most part, I guess.
True.
How many of these 19 unforced errors of the forehand ground stroke, I think, or something like that. Yeah, 19. It was a bit of a match for me, like the Gauff forehand battling against Muchova's backhand, in that both shots were really just not helping the players here. Also, that's really interesting too. I'm just looking at the stats, and Muchova had 17 unforced errors on the backhand and 1 winner, and only 1 forced error of that wing. And I guess for the Gauff forehand, it also is pretty similar. Like, she only had 2 forced errors of the forehand and 2 winners, which really tells you how little firepower was in these 2 shots today, or at least how little they were actually able to do with them.
And it's
Because
unusual.
I'd say
It's unusual for Muchova, really, on that side. She's not normally that bad. Is she?
She's not that bad. Like, it's definitely her weaker shot. It's the one where she can produce less offense, and probably Gauff is also part of the reason why she kind of struggles with it, because maybe when there's a lot of height on it, she can tend to struggle a little bit. But yeah, it's good that the quality improved after the break. You can end the fossil fuels guys for that. But it could have been a better match from Muchova for sure. And we thought that maybe it was going to be Gauff who was going to be more tense, and clearly that wasn't the case. I do feel like Gauff's forehand was a lot weaker than in the previous matches, though. I don't know if this actually is going to be the case in the final, but there were some awful patches, absolutely, especially that one from 5-1 to 5-4. And it generally felt like when Muchova had the tactical discipline to keep playing through it, she was either getting that error from the middle of the court. Also, these backhands that we were talking about, right? When she's just trying to hit, I don't know, 10 backhands in a row to the Gauff forehand. There were rallies like this, then gets the first attackable ball, and every time it's in the net, every single time when she's going cross court. And so yeah, it definitely could have been better, but Gauff is in the final. She's not going to care about that. She has like achieved what everyone expected of her after Świątek was gone. Now it's only, now she has to play Keys or Sabalenka. I feel like against both players, she has a very similar matchup, needs to defend well, is not going to have to worry about injecting pace from the forehand side, probably. Both players are going to do it for her. And maybe this is actually going to be good for her if either Sabalenka or Keys do not have like a ridiculously good day at the office.
I do think, though, that Sabalenka in particular, with this level that we've witnessed probably in the last couple of rounds, maybe the last couple of hours from Coco, she's beatable. I think at least that's what I'm seeing with the eyes, and I would make Sabalenka a warm favourite if it ends up being Arena in that final. Of course, a lot of tennis to be played between now and then. I can see Coco addressing the crowd right now and looking obviously understandably very happy. Muchova looked very glum as she walked off the court. I think she wasn't anywhere near her best today. I do think that the match did kind of come alive from around about, probably shortly after we returned. There was a couple of service games. I think there was a break point in one of those for Coco, but probably from about 3-3 or something like that in the second set, we did see some exciting points with the players being pulled left, right, center, and into the net, and some nervy moments for Karolina as she was trying to save those match points, and she did very successfully on 5 of them. But perhaps for Karolina, I don't know if there's any physical issue for her in terms of the treatment that we've seen her take, and also the very long arm sort of bandage or whatever you call it, arm sleeve that she has, protecting potentially an elbow situation. I don't know if that had any impact, but she did not play close to her best today, and that might be why she was in particularly disconsolate as she walked off the court. Okay, well, I'm going to bring this stream to a close as I take another sip of beer. It's actually only my 3rd beer, but I do know what you mean. I am going down the slope, which is something, of course, the guy who stuck his feet to the ground did not do because he was unable to basically move for about half an hour as the New York Fire Brigade came in to ease him away from the concrete in the end, which obviously happened as part of that protest. And, it added something to the occasion. You can see Coco there just sort of kind of commiserating her opponent. But, over to you, Arina Sabalenka and Madison Keys, to provide us with a 3rd set match, or deciding set match, I should say, or just a non-straight sets match, which I think in the last 3 or 4 days, only one match has provided us with. And that was the 4 sets we had between Ben Shelton and Francis Tiafoe. I'm sure Sabalenka in particular has other ideas about that, and I'm sure she'd be quite keen to get the job done. I'm sure Madison Keys would too, although I do imagine a Madison Keys victory looks a little bit different to the one that will occur perhaps from Sabalenka. Okay, I did say I'm going to bring the stream to an end, and I'm a man of my word. Thank you, Ghosty. And Nurland, has Nurland just joined the chat or something? Because I see he said thanks, Nurland, but
no, they're just saying Nurland every time.
Oh, okay.
Literally, when Nurland is not in the chat, Ghosty or Jake would say,
"Where's Nurland?
Hello, Nurland." Yeah.
As well, thank you, Anna, for tuning in as well. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe, and I will be back with you shortly. I have no idea about Damien's conditioning for the next hour or two, whether he
should be fine.
Okay, Damien, I'm impressed, because I was thinking to myself that during the protester moment, I was thinking, I think this might be sapping Damien's energy in terms of a second match.
That's what I thought so too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely be here with potentially my 4th and final beer. So we'll see how that works out. So if you're really excited about me deteriorating in front of your very eyes, make sure you tune in for Arina Sabalenka against Madison Keys. I'm just going to find the link and I'm going to share it in the live chat right now as we hemorrhage viewers, because I'm just babbling on for no real reason. Everybody, take care, and hopefully we'll see you all on the other side in a few minutes or maybe a little bit longer for that second semi-final. Everybody, thank you for tuning in, and you know the drill.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
You've been to the French Open final. Your breakthrough, at least standout result at the beginning of your career, was on grass against Venus. You've been very solid on the hard courts. Is there a slam in particular that you go, I think that's, if I'm going to get one, the first one might come here, there, or where?
Well, I don't know. I mean, everyone, I'm like, I think this is the first one. So I don't know. I mean, obviously now going to the French, I do have a lot of confidence on this surface. But I'm not really thinking about that. I feel like, you know, in the past I was, and it gave me some like defeats that I feel like I shouldn't have lost, maybe more so my head. So going in now, I mean, I feel like, you know, everyone could be the one, but I think I have to just take it a match at a time and just feel it out and enjoy it. I think when you focus too much on the destination, you don't enjoy the journey there. So now I want to focus more on the journey, and you know, if the destination gets there, that's great.
You've been to the French. If there's one match from Rafa's story where you think that was a missed opportunity, there was a big chance.
I have matches.
2
or 3 in Australian Open. No more. We lose the opportunity in Wimbledon against Djokovic in semi-final.
2018.
Then we lose the opportunity, more important because that was semi-final. We lose the opportunity in Australian Open. In the Australian Open 2014, 2012 and 2017.
Yeah.
In 14 because he has an injury against Wawrinka that before he had never lose against him. Then with Djokovic and Federer, he had breakup in the 5th.
Yeah.
And 40-30 or the 30-50. I don't remember well. It was a ball very close, goes up. But this is what happened. There was in Roland Garros 2009. Of course, he I am sure that he won. He will win. He won this tournament when he has no problems in his knee, because at this moment he was the best. He won Australian Open, then he won the tournaments on clay, and he arrived with problems in Roland Garros. for this reason, in my opinion, he loses. But there are others time that maybe he has to lose and he won.